Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ARCA at Daytona. The stream will be starting soon to watch 80 laps around for JOHNCAR and OSRL race number 1. everybody, please bear with us. We are still working on getting iRacing loaded here as we get the session started to begin the 80-lap event tonight. This will be OSRL and JOHNCAR's collaboration race number 1 from Daytona with ARCA cars in iRacing. So bear with us. We are just about ready to get this stream underway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, finally, we are ready to go. Welcome to the actual race. My name is Joe Donahue. This is my YouTube channel. I do things on here sometimes, occasionally for fun, and once in a while I bring around a good friend of mine to do it with me. Tonight, my wonderful buddy, you'll know him as Mighty Mac, Noah, is in the booth with me. Noah, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the gridded field, getting ready for 80 laps. They qualified. It went how it went, and now we're here.
I think that's the nicest way we can describe how that was. Thanks for having me. It means a lot that you call me your buddy. I'll let you know that right now. But yeah, we got to watch a pretty interesting and at the very least entertaining 5 rounds, I guess we can call it, stages of qualifying to set the field for tonight. We already have beef, which is really interesting. We already have guys that have been sent home, and we're not even in the race yet. So we have a lot to look forward to, and it's going to be really entertaining, as not only do we have ARCA at Daytona, we have it under the lights. So, that's going to make things a lot better. Absolutely, it will. So we've got the field lining up now, and since they are on the grid, we'll go ahead and jump to the starting lineup, quickly running through. Nathan Barrows, going to be scored as the pole sitter at the end of all of the heat action of group qualifying they did. Griffin Jones to his outside in the 53 car. Dean Clavitt, Chase Willis sit aside each other in row number 2. You've got Shane Sweeney, not related to Sydney, on the inside, and Christopher Van Scoy in car number 30 on the outside. The commish of JOHNCAR, John Shulcheski, will roll from 8th place on the grid. Presley Sora, he actually drives real ARCA cars in real life, to his outside, starting 8th. Starting in 9th place on the inside, Jack Painter, the mecca of OSRL, on the inside there of Chris Williams, who will be driving the B-Blaze Vintage number 09. Starting 12th on the grid, actually, because we've got some numbers mixed up here. Somebody isn't in the session that's supposed to be, so everything is moving on your screen with William Schmidt and Mateo Mitchell, Riley Ogle, Corey Rexford, Dylan Dreiling, Ryan Wayne. Then you've got Nolan Kelly and Nolan Sanford. Robert B. Blazington in car number 90. Trent Curtis starts 21st. Jumping back, Davis Warren, and Rex Jenkins aside each other. Spencer Madden, Ashley Kolonix, Jet Miller, Mo Perry, Austin Ripp, Nicholas Barrows, actually scored way back here in 29th now. Harry Grindell, Carter Koch, Kyle Chotman, Nathan Moeller, Brent Cox, Adam Harrington, Brett Bennett, Ronald Swyke. I love talking to Ronald. We'll try to get him in the booth at some point during the race. Shane O'Neill, Trey Patton, Devin Lentz, Pizza Laster, and Isaac Johnson's your final car on the grid. Noah, they're rolling now. Nathan Barrows actually is scored. Oh, I'm sorry. The second one was Nicholas Barrows. So we got a brother combination going on in here. But Noah, they're coming around the backstretch, getting ready to go. What are you praying for and hoping to see out of these 80 laps? We can at least make the first 10 laps without wrecking. You know how these races love to go. We're running the ARCA car, which is just a Gen 6, and you take the normal Gen 6, which was enough of a crapshoot that it was, and then you put a massive shovel on the front of the car and a massive wing on the back. So you have a little engine, big wings. It's essentially a vacuum cleaner, and it's just going to be a massive, massive pack race. You're not going to have really any chance for any sort of breakaway. So all you can really hope for is that they're able to keep the cars in one piece, keep it on the ground at the very least, and hopefully we have 80 laps of clean green flag running. But knowing how this race usually goes, I highly doubt it's going to happen like that.
I also highly doubt it, but we've got 42 drivers lined up ready to go, and we'll see if any of the angst from qualifying rolls over into this. This is race number 1 for the ARCA series to start off for the OSRL championship as well as the JOHNCAR championship. They are running some races side by side and some races individually. Tonight you're going for points for both, and Nathan Barrows, it will start from the front and try to take it to the finish and get things rolling in the right direction. Green flag coming out, boogity, boogity, boogity. All that is ready to go, and they're off and away now.
Yep, they are underway right now as they make their way down into turn number 1. As you see Nathan Barrows, your leader, heading into the first turn. He's going to have a little bit of a breakaway from the outside line as the 43 car right behind him of Dean Clavitt is going to hold up right behind him and push him as they make their way down to Daytona Super Stretch. Looking back in the third spot, Shane Sweeney on the inside with Griffin Jones on the outside, as now that outside line is going to start to try and find that momentum as we wait to see if they're able to catch up and take over the outside line with the leaders as they make their way into turn number 3 to complete lap number 1.
As they come through 3 and 4, getting up to full speed here, the top side does not have that momentum carrying out of turn number 4 that they might like. You're seeing a little bit more congregation to the bottom line as you go further back into the field. But the name of the game is just to get through the first couple laps. And we start things off with Nathan Burrows leading, Dean Clavitt right in step behind him in the 43 car. Right back into turn number 1. Everything's still clean here.
Yep, you can see right there Nathan Barrows still holding on to that lead as they make their way out of turn number 2. That outside line really still hasn't formed yet. You can look back there towards the midpoint of where Spencer Madden, I believe that is Mo Perry in the 54 car. They're a little bit broken away back there in the mid-pack, and that inside line is a little bit more firmed up right now as everybody decides where they want to go and where they want to filter themselves in the opening laps. Because the name of the game right now, feel your car, feel how the runs are going to be made, feel how the track feels in these cooler conditions. You don't want to go out there making too aggressive of a move. You have 80 laps to settle this thing. As you can see, they're getting really jostled up there at the front of the field, but they're going to be able to hold on here to complete lap number 2. And now here comes Griffin Jones to take the lead on the outside as they make their way into turn number 1.
So Griffin Jones got that top side together a little bit more, but you see coming down to the bottom line right as they come into turn number 1. So Griffin trying to control the bottom line now that he got the top side to work, but that leaves them out to dry. That number 30 car of Christopher Van Scoy going to be trying to hold that group in step. But Griffin Jones takes a commanding lead of this race by jumping down, and just at the same time, Nathan Burrows decides he wants to try the top side, and Griffin's going to go up to block him as well. So that 53 car, Noah, he's trying to make it a little wide as they come through the corners.
That's exactly what you need to do, because when you come off the corner, that outside line is going to explode, and that is where the run's going to form. So what he's needing to do is to look in his mirror and see and try to predict where that run's going to come from. Because like you saw, when Griffin made that move down to the inside with the 44 car of Willis, that caused that outside line to kind of jumble up a little bit as they lost kind of the leaders of that train. And kind of like how you see it when you see a weatherman talk about how a storm recycles itself, that's what that outside line's starting to do too. You lose those front 2 leaders, so you lose a little bit of draft. So they have to recycle the run, and then you're going to see that outside line form up again. And what Griffin needs to do all race long now is to look in his mirror and see when that recycling starts to happen, because you can see Nathan Burrows is now starting to make that run back up on the high side. He's now 3rd in a line with the leaders.
As he gets a little loose there going through turn number 3. They come back through 4, and they're going to try to get that momentum back. But for the meantime, Griffin Jones doesn't have to worry about what Noah's talking about, because at this exact moment in time, he's just got Chase Willis and Dean Clavitt in step behind him that he's got to look out for. Car 53 leads over the 44 and the 43. That number 2 of Shane Sweeney right there doing a pretty solid job of holding the position he's in as they go back into turn number 1. He just gets past now as the high school friends Gavin Newton and Presley Sora start to work together, Noah. They move to the outside line. They lead that group, and I'm sure the chemistry between Sora and Newton is going to carry as they try to bring the top side up to the front again.
Absolutely, those two are basically teammates, and that they may not be running the same make and models of the cars, but you know these two are going to stick together no matter what happens. They are going to be locked on each other. They had Christopher Williams in that '09 car with them as well, but when they saw the chance to jump up high, they
Whoa,
abandoned
look
them as,
out.
oh, we got a wreck in the back of the field. That is going to be Isaac Johnson that slams into the outside wall. I also see Spencer Madden making a move as well. He is stuck to the 6 car of Austin J. Rip as they are sliding through pit road, and they are still wrecking as the number 1 car gets clobbered at the pit exit as well.
Yep, that's a big crash. The one car involved in it as well. iRacing having a little struggle here. It looks like we are yellow now. And yeah, we'll have to go back and check out what happened. That's Kyle Totman in the one car, also involved in this accident. That was it was sort of a tough situation to start coming together there, Noah. We'll hit the replay button, see how far back we can go, and see what unfolds a little further back in the field. There goes where Isaac Johnson gets the contact from Adam Harrington, and up and hard lick, as they'd say on the broadcast.
And with how these cars are, when you make contact in the wall like that, rather than it kind of just sticking, it's going to kind of trampoline itself off that wall and off of each other. And what ends up happening is what you see with guys like Spencer Madden and everybody below them. They have nowhere to go except you have a 200-mile-an-hour race car come sliding across your windshield. And when you're already down at the bottom of the racetrack, you have nowhere else to go except forward, right into the back of that next car that's sliding down in front of you. And right then and there, all hell breaks loose as the wreck with Spencer Madden is actually completely separate from whatever happened up front. So that's just a misconnect and misopportune from what you want to happen. You can see Madden, the entire front end of the car ripped off. I need to see who that 21 car was that caused the first initial contact that caused the wreck to happen. But you see just pure melee right on there as you see Spencer sliding right down into the path of everybody else, and then with the smoke you have nowhere else to see, and then there's that last bit of contact just to add insult to injury is now just a lot of cars. So I believe we're going to be do we even have a fast repair? I don't know if we do or not, but if you do have one, I can guarantee you're going to be using it right now.
Well, we could jump live and see if we have a couple cars who are at the back of the field here. And there is a place where I can check if there were fast repairs for this.
Yes, so, there is. There's one.
One single fast repair. You get 10% of the way into the race, Noah, and you have to use it already. If they did, guys like Spencer,
they will.
Guys like Spencer, guys like Isaac Johnson, they are at the beck and call of whatever else is to come in this race then. That is a lifeline that, especially with a field this big, this type of car, this type of track, I always strategically try to keep a hold of that as long as I can. So it kind of puts you in between a rock and a hard place from this point forward.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's better to have it, not need it, than to need it and not have it. But that's pretty much what's going to happen to all those people that were caught up in that wreck. Like you said, 10 laps into this thing, you have 70 laps to go, and now you're using a fast repair to start off the beginning of this race. Now the name of the game is just to survive. You don't have any sort of reasoning. There's not stage racing. There's not any points on the line with anything you're going to do. You're not going to get a trophy or any money from this. So all you really need to do right now is sit at the back of the field, watch what happens, kind of take notes on maybe where you want to place your car for the end of this thing, and then kind of wait for that last 20 laps. And then when you see that 20 to go mark, or even 15 to go, if you're so inclined to, then you start making the move. So now really it's just a matter of process eliminations. Make sure you still have a car by the time the end of this race comes, and then when that time comes where you need to start making moves, start flying up to the field. Because if you try to go up there and race without that fast repair for these final 70 laps, then you're pretty much just putting yourself in a position where you're going to be packing it up early.
Yeah, that's not where you want to be at all. While we have a moment here under yellow, we can talk to one of the drivers involved in this accident. I'm going to pull him up into the broadcast booth. We've got Adam Harrington here in the booth. Adam, this is Joe Donahue, bringing the broadcast live out to everybody. You were involved in that accident. Can you give us your perspective on what went down and where you go from here?
Yeah, so pretty much come onto the front stretch, sitting in the outside line, just trying to log laps, and I see the guy in front of me check up. I let off a little bit, and all I see is the car behind me just nail me, and just complete chaos afterwards.
So what do you do from here now, Adam? Because you used that fast repair, and you're only about 10% of the way into this race. Is that a stressor for you, or are you feeling okay?
I'm here to have fun. Whatever happens, happens. I'd like to finish the race, but yeah, kind of just try to keep my head down, stay out of trouble. Hopefully, maybe work my way up front. I think I got a bit of a hot rod. Maybe not a race-winning car, but something to at least get up closer to the front.
Word. Well, good to see that you've got a good outlook on getting back up towards the front. We'll let you get back down, get ready for the restart coming up here. Thanks for joining us, and good luck the rest of the way.
Awesome, thank you.
That was Adam Harrington, driver of car number 4. Saw him involved in that accident, and yeah, we'll see them get now re-lined up, Noah, and get ready for the restart as they go double file behind the pace car. We're going to be about 10 laps into this one by the time we get back to green. About 12%, 13% of the way into it already.
Yeah, you're going to rack them and restack them again as now you try to do it all over again. You're going to have Griffin Jones leading the way with Chase Willis on the outside line. In row number 2, you're going to see Gavin Newton with Shane Sweeney up on top of the 4th position and almost kind of perfectly lined up. Presley Storer is going to be right behind Gavin. So I don't know, you can't really do that on purpose, but that's pretty much perfect because you want your teammate to be right with you, because what you'll see in other circumstances when that doesn't happen, you don't have the choose cone. You'll see cars kind of wait for each other on the restart to give that hole, so that way the teammate is able to jump up top and they're able to start working together again. So when you have opportunities like this where your teammates are with you on the same line, that pretty much makes it perfect. You also have John Shuletsky back there in the 7th spot as well. I would say kind of a pseudo teammate. I believe that is a Gavin paint scheme that made that car. So a little bit of a pseudo paint scheme, but also the owner as well as one of the admins along with Gavin. So maybe you're going to have some admin teammates working together as well here in the opening stages of this race.
Hey, you've got to have good chemistry if you're going to run an iRacing league together, especially if it's ARCA cars with ARCA crowd. Speaking of ARCA crowd, we'll wish Presley some good luck here as we come back to green. Presley Sora, the car he's driving is scored as the number 9, scored as a 98, showing as the 9. That is the livery of the car he will be driving in the actual ARCA Daytona race later in February. So we want to wish him well as he gets ready to do that. And maybe this is some good practice for him as we get back to green.
Yep, hopefully. We obviously want to see him do well here in the real-life ARCA race. There's a lot of talents going to be going down there for that race. It's not easy to win, but with what he's been able to do and the equipment that he's been given, he's able to impress a lot of people. So hopefully he's able to show what he's made of as he makes his way back down to the World Center Racing for another go at Daytona. But as you said, the race is back underway. Griffin Jones, again, breaks out to the lead. Here comes Gavin right behind him, and now Presley Storer is going to try and push him, and that's going to put that 44 car in a sucker hole as he gets split right up the middle, and that's going to allow the 39 car to take the lead of the outside line. That is Ryan Wayne with Mo Perry back there.
We got one spinning.
In that 54 car, and we got people wrecking yet again.
Double zero car goes around. That's Nathan Moeller trying to get back to the double zero car. Green flag is still out, so we did not get a yellow out of that. Just a single car spin, but he drops all the way to the back of the field. And I think we've only lost one car at this point as well, Noah.
Yep, so now all he has to do is basically run around and hope he gets a wreck, and that's about to happen as they are stacking up big time. There they go.
Holy.
Big wreck in the back of the field.
Oh, he Dale Earnhardted. Chase Willis just Dale Earnhardted in turn 1.
That was a massive wreck, too, and that was just a case of bad connections with the bumpers, and then he tries to save it, and when that car decides to catch grip, it has nowhere to go except straight to the outside wall, and that car is torn all to hell.
Both of them are. Who's that crabbing behind him there? I can't tell if that's... Is that... I can't tell who that is. The 84 car comes to a halt right here, and we'll catch the replay back and check out what happened, but I just want to wait and see if that's the 24 of Shane O'Neill. Or no, that's not the 24 of Shane O'Neill. That's a different 24 car. Let's get back to Nathan. No, sorry. We want to get back to the 44 car here. We want to get back to watch what happened to Chase Willis. So.
Well, we also had a plane landing in the background, so I think the Delta Airlines flight from Topeka just landed.
Well, maybe got a good timed approach to watch that accident happen. Let's catch this back. We'll go backwards.
If you look out on the left side of your wing, you're going to see all hell breaking loose in turn 1.
Let's check this again. Yep, there it is. Okay, so Chase Willis, he got stuck in the middle line there, Noah. You called that out before. So he's working on getting back up into the mix of things, and it's just going to get tight real quick when they go into turn 1. Kind of looks like it backs up from in front of him.
Yeah, you can see John entering turn number 1. He kind of clipped the apron. That caused the 30 car to back up to try and not run over him. And then that just caused an accordion effect. And it's kind of like a game of telephone. When you tell the first person what you said, it's really easy for him to say it to the next person. But when you get down to the 5th guy in line, it gets jumbled up. And whatever you said beforehand comes a completely different sentence. And miscommunication, mistiming, all hell breaks loose.
That's terrible stuff. That's a tough break for those guys. I saw Adam Harrington involved
Oh,
there
hang
as well.
time. The Dale car launched over the access road.
Dale would be proud.
Oh, yeah. Like Charlie, he launched it over there.
Wow. So that's your second incident of the evening. Coming back to live here on your screen, Griffin Jones still leads. A lot of the cars pitted. There's the 44 of Chase Willis. Moving past everybody here. I'm assuming he's got to come in and get that car fixed, Noah. There's no way he's... yeah, there he goes. There he goes. All right, so Chase
we do have an update, I want to say. I have the scanner up, so I'm able to hear what the drivers are saying. Isaac Johnson, who was involved in that first caution, I think he said his race is over. I don't know if he hit somebody or not, but he was screaming that his race is already done. I think his engine's starting to go.
Oh, that's a tough break. This early on in it, that's a tough break for the driver of the 33 car. Isaac Johnson, a longtime member of running OSRL out here, has had some good championship runs in the past. And this is not the right way to set things off. But the pit stops are coming for those who wish to take them. 44 car Chase Willis missed his box by a couple. And he will get back in there. Brayton Laster comes through pit lane. We saw Brayton Laster involved in the accident. We'll see if he's around. I always like talking to the Pizza King. And he is. So why don't we move him into the booth? He's in Race Channel 6, and let's get his take. Brayton Laster, Joe Donahue. We got you up in the booth, involved in that incident. Not too bad, but you're hitting the pits to get it repaired. How you feeling about what's to come, and what damage you did get out of that accident?
It's a lot worse than it looks. We were pretty fine. I looked in my mirror. I was slowed up for the wreck, and I saw Isaac Johnson crowd surfing the field behind us. Unfortunately, we got, I guess, bystander in that one. For the second hit there at the very end from Isaac, and so that actually knocked our whole front end apart. We were topping out at 130 under caution. We didn't have a meatball, so I got about 10 minutes of optionals here. We're going to get them fixed over time, and so the next 30, 40 minutes of racing, though, is going to be rough for the 06 PeerlessPump.com machine.
So what are you going to do to get through that? Oh, you go ahead, Noah.
I mean, it's a good reminder before you go down to Daytona about the ARCA brake situation. You always know that's going to come, so that feels pretty good to at least know heading into that race. Oh, yeah, I should probably check out my mirror for a wild card. I'm sliding up the apron like that.
Yeah, I was telling Presley, tonight's good practice. I'm not running the ARCA Daytona race this year, but tonight's good practice for our friend Presley. Sarah getting ready to make his Daytona debut next week. But I told Isaac, man, with the ARCA brake situation he had there, he was more than improved in my book if he ever wanted to go race the ARCA race.
Well, that's sweet.
Good sign, good show of confidence right there, I guess, if you want to take it like that.
Well, we'll let you get back down there and get ready to chill with the repairs you've got. We're about 1 to go to green. Good luck the rest of the way. Hopefully we can see you get back out there and get competitive again, Brayton.
Thank you, broadcast fam.
Yes, thank you. Awesome.
And to give complete transparency and all fairness to Isaac, if you go back and look at that wreck, I know we didn't really have time to look at it, but what happened was they were checking up for the wreck. He got ran over by Spencer Madden right behind. That shoved him straight through it. So he was a victim in that he had nowhere to go. He had no control over his race car. He went all the way up from the wall, had 2 lanes of cars in front of him, shot all the way down to the apron to try and avoid, and the car just slid right up into the path of Brayton. He had nowhere to go.
Tough break. That's just, that's classic ARCA right there. Classic ARCA.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That's ARCA, baby.
We got 8 people with us in the stream, Noah. Probably more than are watching on FS2 right now.
Yeah, watching the bash out at Bowman Gray Stadium. That's all we can really call that. At least it's not raining. At least we got that going. We had to get kicked off so we could watch some guy in a hot dog costume sing YMCA. So, thank you to all the people from FS1 who jumped over to FS2 to come watch this race. We appreciate your support.
Goes crazy. We also got a shout out. Drew Ragusa gave you a shout out in the chat.
Oh, sweet.
That's what we're talking about. Noah surprised me with your response there. Noah is a fantastic person, good friend of mine. He is genuinely
Was someone talking shit?
No, you're the no. I'm being serious. Noah is the reason for all the people watching this broadcast, for however many broadcasts you've ever seen me do. Noah is the person who said to another person that Noah and I both
Will not
work
be named.
for. I am in a good I'm in good standings with Andrew Cardinale.
You
I
are.
have
Okay, you said
I have
it.
good respect for him. But Noah Carmichael is the reason. He said, Andrew, we need a person, and Joe can do it. And I would not be doing what I'm doing right now if it wasn't for Noah. So I always love getting to do this, and I'm very excited to get to do this race with him, with Noah right now. And it's back to green, and I'll stop tooting his horn, but I'm happy he's here. So, Noah, we're back to it.
I mean, we're back to it, all right. And Gavin Nunes taking the race lead. Presley Storer right behind him. He's pushing the hell out of him down to Daytona Supercharged, heading into turn number 3. Here comes an inside line starting to form once again. Griffin Jones getting help from that 39 car. He's going to try and take back the race lead. But now, as you see on the top side, you got Gavin, you got Presley, you got Shane, and you got John. That is a really tight group of cars right there, and they're going to push the hell out of each other as they're going to lead lap number 15. And Gavin abandons Presley and moves down the inside line to protect the lead.
Well, if they want to work together right here, Noah, they almost have the opportunity to go side by side and kind of control this race at both sides of things. But I think Presley, it just looks like he's trying to get out in front, although he could move down, and he's not doing it right yet. So maybe he'll come off the corner and roll down to the bottom side. No, he wants to control the top side.
Yeah, look, you mean the best way to win this race is to control both lanes, like you mentioned, and when you do that, it's pretty much down to which one of you guys gets the better push. But here comes John, gonna barely squeak by the nose of Gavin Newton to take the lead at the inside, and now Presley decides, okay, now I'm gonna block the run and take over the lead of the inside line. Shane Sweeney now up top, leading the outside line. He's gonna try and take back the race lead as they make their way through the trial of the complete lap number 16, as that outside line, once again, like we talked about at the beginning, trying to recycle itself to try and get that run built to bring the fight back to the inside line, as now I believe was that the 83 car? No, that was John that jumped up to the outside line. He's going to try and side draft the 9 car as they make the way up from turn number 2.
Shane Sweeney looking to the top side of the racetrack, trying to make it 3 wide for the race lead. You got Dylan Dreiling in car number 83. That's a Chevrolet back there, 3 spots deep on the outside line. He's moving around a little bit as well. Christopher Vanskoy in the mix of things. Ryan Wayne led this race at one point in time. He now sits back in 7th as they come back through the corners again. Presley Sora on the inside line, controlling that space. John Shulcheski on the outside line. Now edges forward just barely as he gets the momentum off of turn 4 and back to the stripe again. This lap's going to be led by the outside, number 18. That's John Shulcheski. Shane Sweeney giving him a little push right there. And you see a bit of separation at the tail end of this group. That is about 25th, 26th place. They're Trey Patton in the 66 car, the last car, and then Spencer Madden is leading a small group of drivers who have put a little separation in between themselves, a little bit of safety space in case something big happens in this mix up front.
Yeah, I believe all those cars are people who were caught up in earlier wrecks. So what they're pretty much their name of the game is let these guys up front kill each other, and we're going to try and capitalize in the later stages of this race and try and take this win. So that's kind of the strategy I'd be running with. Again, it's so early in this race, you really don't want to waste that fast repair. And for the guys that already had to use theirs, that's the strategy you want to use. Get to the back of the field, watch what's going on up front, take notes on what you can use for yourself in the later end of the race, and then just kind of watch everybody take each other out through process of eliminations. You guarantee yourself a top 10 finish. But up front, again, it's Presley Storer leading the outside line, John Shulcheski on the inside line, side by side, making their way up of turn number 2 as they're going to drag race down the straightaway as they again fight for the lead as we're approaching quarter distance in the race.
We are getting close to lap number 20 here with Presley Storer still leading the way on the outside line. Interesting thing, he moved down late there. Little contact with Shulcheski. As we get this nice in-the-track shot of the field coming through. Shulcheski just kept it under control. It's interesting to see Sora I almost think, Noah, I feel like he's reacting more to the 18 car than anybody else. He seems like he's just kind of watching where John goes, and for the last couple big moves that 9 car has made have been in response to John Shulcheski.
It's Shulcheski, right? That's how you
Yes.
pronounce that?
Yes,
Got it.
Shulcheski.
Shulcheski. Got it. Okay, good to know. I probably should have learned that before he got started. Yeah, it's like you said, the 18 car is kind of the one you really want to watch out for because he's the one that's been really making the moves. He's been jumping to the inside and the outside, looking for any way he can to take that race lead. So Presley kind of knows already where the aggression is going to come from. It's more than likely that 18 car. He wasn't really focused on Shane Sweeney. Maybe it was just to try and kind of work with him. I don't know if that's on purpose. I know believe they're in the same Discord call. So that's Chris Williams bouncing it off the outside wall. He's going to fall back towards the end of the tail end of the lead pack, and that's going to really cause a jumble mess around the midpoint of the field, and that's going to cause a massive separation on the outside line. That's probably going to kill the run as we know it for the leaders as they make their way back into turn one. But like I said, you know where the aggression is going to come from. The 18 car is making some really aggressive moves early on in this race. Do I agree with it? No. Do I understand it? Sure. Why not? Get yourself some TV time. But you know where the run's going to come from. So if you know Shane Sweeney is going to kind of stick to where he is and be a bit more cautious, then yeah, block where you see that run coming from. That is the 18 cars. They're getting really dicey up in front of the field.
Yeah, that was a bit dicey. Dreiling moved down, and Sora tried to go with him instantaneously. Didn't quite work out for him, as now the 2-car moves down to the inside of Presley. Dylan Dreiling takes over the race lead for the first time. We got a bunch of cars leaning to the inside, and a yellow comes out. We'll have to check backwards to see who this comes from.
I'm not sure where the... Oh, I believe it is Nathan Burrows in the 90 car.
All right, Nathan Burrows. So your pole sitter is back at the tail of this field, and back to causing yellows. We're going to see if I can get the replay out here for us. Show you what happened. I don't think so. iRacing's only putting a couple cars on track at a time for me here. No, unfortunately, I did not have it. I didn't have enough cars. I didn't have enough cars set to be showing at any given instant in time when we got this race going. So
okay, so here's the play-by-play from what I can give you. So they're making their way through turn number 3. Massive checkup in front of that 21 car. That's gonna be Nolan Kelly. So trying to see where the checkup is coming from. Something happened with the 66 car that kind of got the run broken up. You have the 25 car Rex Jenkins behind him, the 01 of Nicholas Barrows, and then the 21 of Nolan Kelly at the tail end of it. They're going to have a major checkup. Nolan's going to have nowhere to go, no time to react. He's going to slam into the back of the 01 car. Right behind him is the number 03 of Corey Rexford. And then what happens? Corey Rexford is going to run him right over. He gets nailed into the outside turn for a wall, picture for picture, bounces off of it, spinning like a top into the path of that is the 90 of Robert Blazington, the 1 of Kyle Topman, and then as you saw Nathan Barrows as well, the 90 car had his front end ripped off because he was right in the path of that 21 car, but a massive hit for the 21 car. That's going to take out at least 3 or 4 cars from this race.
that is a tough hit for all those drivers. I'm going to let him get into his pit stall, and then we will bring in, for his own perspective, the driver of the number 21 car. So we're going to let him come to a stop, give him a second here, and then let's try to see what Nolan has to say. Nolan, Kelly, we got you in the broadcast here. Joe Donahue talking to you. Involved in that accident, give us your perspective on what went down there.
Well, I think I got, hit, or I think I got a little bit of a bad push, and then I just sort of lost it coming into turn 4.
It appears you are not using a fast repair. Are you going to be sitting still for a little while, or are you going to be able to get back into this show pretty quick?
Well, I have about 6.5 minutes of damage, so I'm going to just try and stay on the lead lap for now. Hope that I keep getting cautions to fix this up.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you feel about the entire strategy of the race with this happening only about, in the first quarter of this event?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about just sort of getting my damage fixed and just keep going.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Nolan. Well, we'll throw you back down to get the car under repair and get ready to get back out there. Good luck the rest of the way. Hopefully you can steer clear of things like that moving forward.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had to tug at him, tug at him a little bit there, figure out what's going on with car number 21, but that is tough breaks for those guys at the back of the field, and That's where the attrition starts coming from, Noah. We move further into this race. We move further into more accidents, and these guys start running out of the fast repairs, and then they start dropping like flies.
In real life news, Ryan Priest is your winner of the Clash.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Probably should have said spoiler before you said that, but...
I mean, they all stopped watching FS2. That's 7 people.
Right. Well, anybody who was watching that and wanted a real show came over here, but
Exactly.
I was with some friends. Before this broadcast, I had to run over and do some work because I do some volunteering work with local robotics programs in my area, and I jumped over there, and we had the race on. Like, they had the race on a TV, and we were talking about that driver who you just said won, and it was like, he's got to do something this year. He's got to start. He needs to take that next step. And the fact that he took that next step, I guess thank you, Mother Nature.
Yeah, because he was like in the back half of the field, so that worked out perfectly for him because he moved his way through the field and was able to kind of hold on to that race lead when I stopped watching.
Well, that's cool. That made it exciting. The weather made it exciting down there because those cars on that track is not the best combination, even though I love the idea of what they're doing.
I was texting somebody earlier about this. It's like, if you're going to make it a circus act, you might as well go all in and make it a full-blown Ringling Brothers. So I was all for rain racing at Bowman Gray Stadium. I honestly think iRacing is that, rain racing on the ovals, because wouldn't you want to watch an 80-lap race of ARCA and Daytona in the rain? I would. That'd be fun.
That would be hilarious. Oh, this in the rain would go crazy. We would already be down to... We'd have already lost half the field, but...
It'd be a mud pit.
It would be. It'd be
fun.
fun.
That'd be incredible.
That'd be fun. I see Brent Cox in the top 15 area. Actually, top 10, sorry. He's sitting 8th as they come back to green. That's cool to see. Mo Perry's up there as well, 54 car in red. You got Austin Ripp in the 65 right in front of him as they go back to green. Harry Grindell in car number 70, the British driver. Always solid with these ARCA cars. That is a car to watch as we continue forward in this race. 25 laps down, back to green flag racing. Presley Sora and Gavin Newton are back together at the front, Noah, and they control the lead pretty easily off the race.
Same story as what we had all race long from the start with those two together. They're not going to go anywhere except front to back, except that they want to control both lanes. And when you have the restart and they're all on the same Discord channel, they're able to kind of time that where they want it to go. And then what you have right there is what you see when Dylan Dryling gets hung out to dry. And now you have Presley Sora, Gavin Newton, and Harry Grindell, 1, 2, 3, controlling the pace at the front of the field as they make their way off of turn number 4.
As they come off turn number 4, I just called him out, Brent Cox, maybe a little bit of commentator's curse. He hit the wall in the middle of 3 and 4, drops back significantly, and there starts to become a separation right there. You've got Brent Cox in 16th place, Brett Bennett in the middle between Ryan Wayne and Ashley Kalonix. He's on the outside of Jet Miller in the Good Wrench number 3 car, and Jet Miller starts dropping a couple more spots backwards. Checking back into the leaders, it's getting a little bit pent up as Presley Sora and Gavin Newton run the inside line with Austin Ripp. Then you've got Harry Grindell, you've got the 30 car of Christopher Vanskoy, and then you've got the 83 of Dylan Dryling up on the top. And it seems much more even this time, Noah. It seems like these guys are kind of minding the P's and Q's to stay in line right now.
No, they're not, because you can see that 30 car is already making it 3 wide. Those two were beating the hell out of each other in the back straightaway with the bum draft that they were giving each other. The 30 car was just not really able to get lined up, and he just got very antsy. And I was about to say this rubber band's about to snap, because we talk about it all the time, kind of that perfect storm that brews to cause these wrecks. Well, I believe it was Slap Shoes made a video about this. You kind of take a rubber band when you go plate racing, and you just kind of keep stretching it. You're waiting for it to snap and recoil, and that's when these wrecks happen. And that's what was about to happen with that 30 car, because he gave some vicious shots to the back end of that 70 car, and it was incredible to watch him try and hang on to that car and not wreck it.
Well, Vanskoy has now dropped back to 12th place as he has lost a lot of the track position and draft capabilities that he had when we saw him up at the front. But now Mo Perry takes over the race lead. On the outside with Spencer Madden. The 2 car of Shane Sweeney is back in the picture as well. The inside line, Dylan Dryling and Harry Grindell, they're trying to keep things together, but Mo Perry, the 54 car, now moves down to protect from them, and Spencer Madden in that McDonald's number 6 takes over the lead at the top side.
Dylan Drelling's one of those guys you really want to watch out for. He's kind of became a bit of a plate racer in his own right in the time that he's been on the surface. He's really has a knack for being able to find the run, not only find the run, but find the right guys to work with to get him in position to where he can take these leads, because he's just able to kind of feel where that run's coming from. And even if he falls back to 6th in the line, if you give him enough time, you give him a couple of laps, he's able to get himself back up there in the front 2 spots.
Shane Sweeney moves to the bottom side of the racetrack now. They all move around a little bit up at the front, and Shane Sweeney potentially had the lead for a second there. Jack Painter has gotten in the picture. I think Christopher Vanskoy might have brought him with, as the Brent Cox, contact between Grindel and Cox there. You saw it on your screen. Great driving by Grindel to hold control of that Kamikaze Motorsport number 70 car, and he stays going the right direction, as do the rest of them, at least for the moment. Good save.
Going on up there?
Good save by Shane Sweeney.
Yeah, that was a bit of an interesting move by Harry Grindel, because, you know, he was on the inside line, and you saw Brent Cox up on the top, and then Grindel tried to shove Cox out of line and take that spot up on the top side, and Cox just wasn't having any of it, and they kind of forced it into a 3-wide spot where Grindel almost wrecked in front of the entire field, and they kind of found their homes. And then another incident when Shane Sweeney almost did the exact same thing and drifted up into that outside line. They're still holding on to it as they run again. The outside line trying to reform itself, as now a 3rd lane is starting to form with the back half of this pack.
It looks like Brent Cox trying to make a 3rd line work. That very quickly did not work out for Brent Cox. He starts dropping backwards.
If you look further back, you see that outside line starting to form. They're starting to get some.
Oh, there they are.
There.
Yep. So you've got the 39 car. You've got, well, Kalanick's just bailed on it, and maybe the 39 will as well. Nolan Sanford in the 52 car. We saw him sort of start getting up to the front right when we got on that restart, and he has dropped backwards again, that 52 car. I love the font of this 52 car. Always looks good. Nolan always drives a good-looking race car, and he does a pretty solid job of keeping it in one piece. I don't want to jinx it. As we come back to the line again, Christopher Vanskoy has taken over the race lead. Presley Sora was giving him the push that time. Dylan Dreiling and the number 9 car with Presley Sora there, they move back in front of the Mike Maples Motorsports number 30. And the top side very quickly, very confidently dominates the lead as they come back to the back straightaway. Noah 3-wide, way behind him. I saw Austin Ripp and Brent Cox back there. This is the slew right now going on in this pack.
Yeah, it's way too early to have this kind of crap going on right now. It's lap 31 of an 80-lap race. You already see the wrecks that are forming early in this race, and you really don't want to put yourself in a position where you're going to cause it. As the 39 and Cox both getting into each other as they make their way off of turn number 4, beaten doors at 180 miles an hour is not the move you want to be playing early in this race. And now they're about to go 4-wide in the triangle. Have to check up to try and avoid the wreck, and that's really going to jump a lot of cars up, and eventually something was going to give, and it just happened.
Spencer Madden trying to get back to the 6 car. Spencer Madden involved in this one big time. Actually, so much so that it just took him straight to the pits already as the yellow flag comes out on lap 32. And the replay is going to come your way with Spencer to see just how wrong this goes and how quickly it goes wrong, Noah.
Oh, I'm going to wait for you to get the replay off. That is a massive impact for that 6 car. Sorry to jinx it, but you're going to see it right here. Right up at the very front of the field, that checkup happens. The 30 car is going to jump into the middle to try and avoid it. That's going to cause an accordion factor where everybody starts checking up. And like I said, it's too early to go 3-wide, and this is why. You have all these cars in this tight of a space and nowhere to go. Madden's going to get spin right down into the path of that pit lane, and watch this massive, massive impact into that inside wall. And I believe he's already used the fast repair earlier in this race. So I don't know if it is, but at least the motor is going to be killed in that thing, and that might be the end of the race for him.
He hit the wall so hard that it stopped. He hit the wall so hard that the game stopped him. Wow.
That was, at the very least, terminal impact. That was a vicious hit for him to take.
At the very least, terminal is a great way to put that, and that's crazy.
I don't know how else to say it except he's dead. I mean, Don't even bother getting the ambulance.
Oh, yeah.
Just bring the hearse.
Yeah. If that was a real life collision, we would be red flagging this race. There would be
you'd even spectators back 50 feet after that.
The coroners would be coming. But nonetheless, thank goodness this is a video game, Noah. We are not putting anybody 6 feet underground tonight.
Exactly. That,
And-
that was incredible.
Yeah. And we've got Harry Grindell in the race lead. Nicholas Barrows, one of the two Barrows, is now up in second place, the one that did not start on the pole. I'm going to assume they're related, but Nathan way back in the field. Nicholas now sits second to Dylan Dreiling in third. And look who's back in the top 5, Isaac Johnson in the 33 cars. He called it. He said he was done, and he's in fourth.
What he said.
That's what he said. Well, should we call him out on it?
Yeah, I guess his death was greatly exaggerated. He said he was done.
Well, let's call him out on it. Let's grab driver of the number 33 car. I'll let him get into his pit box just so he can focus on that. And then we will move him and get his take on the things going on around him. All right, he's coming to a stop, and let's bring him into the broadcast booth. Isaac Johnson, it's Joe Donahue and Noah Carmichael. We got you on the broadcast to walk us through. You, at one point, said you were done with this race. You said your car was toast, and you came into the pits in fourth place.
Yeah, I started 42nd, worked my way up. I think I got to about 30th before the first crash happened. I don't even know what happened there in the tri-oval. I just got clipped in the right rear quarter. Then second wreck, Spencer, I guess, was yelling, checking up, and I think my definition of slowing down and his are a bit different because I got speared into, I think, Brayton Laster's left rear quarter. I thought I was over because I thought he blew the rear end of the car off, and then I don't know what I did, but for some reason I thought I was down on power. I guess not. Went back out, got most of the damage fixed, then got it all fixed that last yellow before now, where I think I'm sitting, I don't know where I'm sitting, like 8th or something like that. Not
Sixth.
bad. Surrounded by people I trust for once instead of the back half of the grid there is a little squirrely, so I don't know. I think I'm actually in a pretty decent spot, all things considered.
Yeah, all things considered, I think it came back around for you a little good. You're at the halfway point of this race. You're saying you're around people you're trusting, and the more cars behind you are the less cars to crash and wreck and have to avoid in front of you. So what's the strategy here? Is the strategy now to stay in the front and try to fight to stay in a position where you don't have that many cars in front of you? Or are you going to try to hold conservative a little bit moving forward?
I mean, no faster prayer. I'm definitely gonna have to play a little smart with what I do when I do it, and why I do it. But definitely gonna be more. I don't know if you were the one broadcasting the OSRL ARCA race here, but that race was dominated by a 3-car tandem on the top, and the aero package hasn't changed. So definitely gonna be trying to find out who I can work with up on the high side and stay chained together, because when you're controlling the outside line, you control the runs on the inside, so you can't get past. Especially the last car in the pack is kind of playing rear gunner there, so that's definitely going to be a very important key to the winning this race. So that's definitely my plan going forward. I don't know who I'm going to do it with, but I know that's what I'm going to try and do.
And you say there's no change in the aerodynamic package of the car, but there was an update to iRacing that happened, but it didn't affect the aero of this car. Were there any effects on these cars from that update that happened today?
I don't know, actually. I didn't really read the patch notes. Just going from like what I'm feeling and what I'm seeing coming through the field, it does not feel very different, if at all. They might have changed a little bit, but from what I can tell, like the way I got up here was just rolling the outside lane. Inside line's checking up too much, and the side draft is definitely biased towards the outside line. So. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we see that the pace lights are out. You're getting ready to get back to green. We'll let you get ready for this restart. Good luck the rest of the way. Hopefully we'll talk to you for good reason as the race continues on.
I think we're going to be talking here shortly because I have a bad feeling about this next run.
That's hilarious. Oh, I appreciate the honesty, Isaac.
Oh, appreciate it. Have fun up there.
Yeah, you too, dude. You too. All right, Noah, you're the expert and also the good-looking one. What do you break down out of what Isaac Johnson just said?
Crapshoot. That's a nice. Like you said, he's around people he trusts, which is the number one thing you want to have. You have races like these where you have 40 cars, you maybe have 20 friends in the race, but when you have the people that either you know are weapons or guys you don't recognize, you really don't want to work with them because you don't know how squirrely they are. So when you see guys around you who are familiar faces and you know how to act, that really helps you in a lot of cases, especially in races like this where you need the partner to make it through the field.
I agree with that, especially at a racetrack like this. You really need someone. You need someone you trust. I mean, you need people you trust around you at all times, but you really need the person that you can trust to work with, and you need someone loyal and reliable to be around. And that is the one thing about what Isaac said that I personally, like he said that, I'm like, I don't know. I really feel like you need to have some sort of dedicated, I know who I'm working with, because all hell breaks loose when it comes down to things at the end of the show. And if you don't know confidently the situation you're going to be working with, X, Y, Z, whatever person, it falls apart on you. So hopefully Isaac can figure that out and get rolling here as they go forward. Green flag came back out. Harry Grindell leads over Griffin Jones, William Schmidt, and Ryan Wayne. They broke out from the side-by-side action. You got 4 cars, single file, leading the way as they come past the line again, Noah.
You know, I'll go back to the point you said. You kind of want, you want to know who you want to work with. But the thing is, you can plan for 20 different scenarios. But then that one bad bobble happens like right there with the 39 car where he can shovel out a line. And then it's pretty much, you don't have a choice. You find who you can work with, and then you just put up with it for the next 10 to 20 laps because of situations like that. It happened on a lap prior. You had the 82 car who was starting up at the front of the field, got one bad bump from the 01 car. Now he's at the back of the field. So it's less about knowing who exactly you want to work with, who you can't work with. Oh, and we talked about it from
Lord.
Isaac Johnson, and he just turned Jack Painter in front of the entire field.
That is a big hit, hard crash for a lot of drivers. Yellow flag comes out on the racetrack, and we got another big one to go through here, Noah. We'll have to wait and see as we pull the replay back. Who'd that start with, Noah? Who should we start with on the broadcast to grab a replay of this?
The guy we just talked to, Isaac Johnson.
Oh, man. Well, we're going to talk to him again then for sure. Let's grab that car, and let's bring this replay back as far as we can go. One more, because he's turning Painter there. So this is going to jump back a little bit before the accident actually happens, but you'll see that outside line of Jack Painter in the 97. You'll see Isaac Johnson, Mo Perry in line there, and then this is where it's going to stir up, Noah.
Exactly. So you're going to see them make their way into turn number 3. That 97 car is going to check up just a little bit, or maybe the 33 car just runs him straight over. So he's going to clip into the 01 car, and that's just going to cause the 97 to correct right up into the front of the field, right into Mo Perry, and then all hell breaks loose. Because like you said, you have this many cars tightly wound up in this small of an area, and when one of them goes sideways and it takes up half the racetrack, well, a lot of people have nowhere to go. And then you have 20 cars that just pile right into each other, and it's just all hell breaks loose from there.
And that took out a lot of fast cars that we've seen up at the front for the majority of this race.
ARCA brake.
Yeah, hard ARCA brake moment there. But took out the 90 car again, your pole sitter. Took out Painter, took out Van Scoy, I think Chris Williams avoided this, but Nolan Sanford involved. Bo Perry got a piece. I mean, this crash took out a lot of cars that were in good competitive position, Noah. So I think most of them probably are going to be able to use a fast repair if they'd like, but we get to halfway into this race and they don't have it anymore if they have to use it now.
Well, it's better to use it at halfway because at least you're able to kind of plan ahead. You only have 20 more laps you have to wait before you're able to really hit the go button to where you need to start making moves up to the front of the field. So, you know, it's better to have to use it here than use it on lap 10 like a lot of the guys earlier had to. But, you know, it's pretty much just now you're in a position that you're in. You just kind of have to work with what you got. But it's going to be very interesting for many of these guys who have to try and nurture their way to the end of this race, especially if you're in a position where, like we talked to a couple people earlier, who still have damage on their cars but need more caution. So you're kind of praying that you get 20 more cautions so that way you can get those final 2 minutes repaired.
Yeah, that's a great point, Noah, as the field, they came into the pits to try to get those repairs done. There's a lot of cars down there getting worked on. John Shulcheski just pulls off the pit lane there. More of these guys sitting still. See Van Scoy pull out. Painter's going to get out of here at some point there. There's Robert Blazington, Bobby Blazer. I think it would be funny to bring him back in the booth because he said he was going to talk to us again, and he called it. Isaac Johnson, they call it a commentator's curse sometimes, but I think this might be the first time ever we've got a driver's curse on the stream.
Look, man, I just knew it was going to happen. I lifted. I got completely off the throttle going into 3 to try and separate it. I cannot feel, for whatever reason, I don't know when I'm on someone's bumper. and I didn't feel like I was pushing him. I was off, and I guess we were still, the bubble kind of kept me on him, and I gassed it up a hair going into 3, and it spun him around, and I think I probably killed a good chunk of the field doing that.
There's a lot of strong cars involved in that, Isaac, but I mean, it was just kind of a running over moment between the two of you, and it didn't look out of sorts. I know you said you maybe didn't feel the contact with Painter in front of you, but it didn't look out of whack. Did it feel out of whack, or did you feel like it was a weird situation? Like what?
We were going through, and then all of a sudden I was staring at Jack's door numbers, and he was going, what the hell? And I went, what the hell too? And yeah, I've noticed all through tonight. Oh Jesus, I almost had a wreck. The bubbles kind of kept cars on. Like you could get damn near 3/4 of the throttle out of it, and you'll still be on their bumper. You'll still be pulled along. So it's really hard to get off of somebody. And the way these things line up and how much momentum you have, it's just you lock onto them and you cannot get unhooked. And it's kind of just numb to feel when you actually get onto them. It's kind of hard, especially if they're moving around a lot, because you don't necessarily know if that's you hooking them or if that's you just pushing them. So it was my fault. I wasn't really. I guess I should have paid more attention to where my nose was on him, but I feel really bad for killing the field like that.
Oh, well, it happens, and it wasn't, like, intentional, and it wasn't anything blatantly crazy and stupid, so you didn't do something too bad there, but, yeah, you got to restart here. Try not to do it again. Don't jinx us and say, don't let, no more jinxing. Let's just get through this.
No,
And
I will
Counselor
say,
John Donahue over here.
we are kind of gaming this restart. Me, Schmitty, and Griffin are all kind of working together here, so we're gonna try and get Griffin down in front of me and Schmitty here and kind of control this race.
There you go.
That's the plan, at least.
There you go. Get the spotters aside of each other up on top of the tower. Hope for the best here.
We'll see if this works. If I'm talking to you in 5 laps, I know what happened.
Yes, we will definitely pull you back in if we have to talk to you again, but we'll let you get ready for the restart here. Good luck, Isaac, with getting through this.
Thank you.
Damn, you're turned to the counselor's office. What the hell was that?
Hilarious. Hey, man, you got to take care of your people, I guess.
I guess.
Hey, you know, if we can counsel these guys into not crashing, getting us a good little run here, green flag racing, that would be A-okay by me. So the field's getting ready for the restart. There's a point in time here where they go from double file to single file back there, but Griffin Jones controls the lead back to it. William Schmidt on the inside. Green flag comes back out. And the one thing I really liked about what Isaac said, Noah, was that he called out specific drivers. He called out specific people that he wants to bring forward with him. And that was kind of what I called out last time we talked to Isaac about picking your guys. He called his shot. He called that 79 car.
And that's exactly where he is, because he followed him right up to the top side when Schmidt made the move up to block the top lane. That's going to allow Presley Sora to lead the charge on the inside lane. He's going to have Shane Sweeney right behind him with the 39 car of Ryan Wayne following, and they're going to push each other heading into turn number 3, and they're going to try and fight for the race lead to make the way off of turn number 4 as we are now passing the halfway point of this race.
We are into the second half of it, and I see Isaac Johnson in the mix. I see Gavin Newton still up in there. I see Brent Cox, Ashley Kolonix. That Midas car, I think that's Trent Curtis. First time really seeing that car in the top 10 here, as it's getting a little argy-bargy down, back headed to turn number 1. But up at the front, William Schmidt and Isaac Johnson trying to control things a little bit better this time than we've seen in the past. It's falling off the tail of this pack a bit, Noah, as you see him come out of turn number 2. You got a bit more separation. A lot more of these guys have used their fast repairs, so they're definitely taking a more conservative approach.
And now the inside line trying to reform himself yet again. You see Christopher Williams back there with Brandon Cox. Gave him some pretty hefty shoves making their way into turn number 3 as he tries to close that gap to the 39 car of Ryan Wayne, as now the inside line is starting to tighten up, and now you're going to see Presley Soros start to get the momentum to try and charge up to William Schmidt. But the problem is William Schmidt, an insanely good oval racer both on the Gen 4 and on the ARCA package as well, was fighting for the championship pretty much every single year in OSRL. And he's going to be one of the guys you want to watch out for all season long to try and win this overall championship. Like you said, Isaac Johnson followed right behind him. He's not going to go anywhere. So we have a tandem of both Presley Sora and Gavin Newton, who are once again rejoined on the bottom side, who were wanting to work together all race long. Now it seems that Isaac Johnson found that guy he wants to work with, and he's going to stay right glued on the bumper of that 79 car to make their way back into turn number 3.
Well, I liked what you said about bringing Schmitty's experience in running these cars. You mentioned that he's a co-champion of Season 1 for OSRL ARCA Racing. He was co-champions with Cole Freilich, who's not in this race, and was in the contention to win the title. There are reasons why Cole Freilich is not in this race, but Schmitty was a co-champion then, and then also was in the hunt for the second championship. Very strong oval racer. Definitely a big contender in the PresleySora.com Gav ARCA series, as well as OSRL, as well as JOHNCAR. So absolutely, that is a driver who knows how to get this type of car around this type of racetrack. You've got Isaac Johnson behind him, who has committed to this 3-car team idea that he called out from before. You've got Griffin Jones, who's been absolutely on it so far in this race, has been up at the front for the majority of the 44 laps we've already ticked off. And they're doing the thing that Johnson called out. Just get that 3-car train up on the top side, and it looks like they've got pretty decent control of everything going on right now.
And as you say that, the momentum on the inside line is now starting to form. Both the 47 car of Brett Bennett as well as the 83 car of Dylan Dreiling jumped in front of Gavin Newton to take the lead of the inside line. And now you're starting to see that charge form. And what you're going to see, how the runs like to work around this racetrack. When you're on the straightaway, the outside line is exactly where you want to be. You have the momentum shooting off of the corners where the inside line is going to form better because, of course, the shortest way around is the least amount of distance that you have to travel. So when you're down there on the bottom of the racetrack in the turns, you're going to be able to really get that run formed. But when you're on the top side is when you really kind of slingshot off the top wall. So you have that speed kind of wound up. So when you're up there, up against the wall, you kind of bounce off of the banking, and it just shoots you down the straightaway. So if you have a person that you can trust to push you down the straightaway, you can really kind of move that car down the straightaway and get some speed going. And that's kind of the reason on why you're seeing this 2-car breakaway between both Isaac Johnson and William Schmidt, is because of how closely tight those two are. And when you get off the corner, Isaac's going to be right there where he needs to be. He's going to shove the shit out of that 79 car.
I liked that you used proper engineering terms when you described that run that 33 car gets off the top side. When that momentum comes in, you get off the banking and you shove the shit out of the car in front of you. As long as you line it up properly, that's the hell of the way to get to the front. And that's pretty much what the 79, 33, and 53 car have consistently done. For now, it'll be about 3 laps straight where 51 car of Trent Curtis and the 47 of Brett Bennett, they get into contention, they get close, but just no cigar in it for them as the 3-car tandem leading the top side of the racetrack. They can keep holding out this lead they've got. But also at the same time, Noah, as we look in the blimp cam here, and we look a little bit further back into the field, we're definitely all the way back throughout the top 20, giving a little bit more space to each other. And I love that I said that right as they stopped doing it. That was awesome timing.
Yeah, the 3-car breakaway of Jones, Johnson, and Schmidt, they're really kind of controlling the momentum and the pace of this race with what they're being able to do. You have those 3 cars, and like what Isaac said, when you're able to control the pace of the race by just having that breakaway, you have 3 guys that you trust that well, you pretty much are going to have a hard time beating them unless you have 4 guys that you trust even more. But even then, you're up on the top side, and this track can be so dominant. It's going to be really, really hard right now to kind of break away that top side. The best way that you can do it is just to get a caution and try and break those guys apart from each other, because that's really the only way you're going to have the best chance of trying to beat them with where they're at right now, because they are just really controlling the momentum this race has.
I saw, coming into turn number 1 there, I saw the 48 car wiggle pretty big time. That was an interesting little thing to see. Basically all on his own, he was wiggling. You got Brett Bennett and Dylan Dreiling in front of him. They are making contact, trying to get that shoved down the back straightaway. And they're getting a little bit happy in the tail as well as they come back out of turn number 4. Pretty much in the P's and Q's right now for the split moment that I said it, because we come back to the stripe. Another lap led for William Schmidt. Noah, how do you break this if you're not one of those 3 drivers? If you're Brett Bennett, if you're Dylan Dreiling, if you're Ashley Kalanick back there at 7th, what do you do? How do you break this off?
That's That's all I got. At this point of the race, because if you talk about the guys up on the top side that have nowhere to go, when they're running up against the wall, you can't really go there. You don't want to go in the middle because you're going to have that inside line kind of side drafting you to try and keep it wound up where it is. So that way they're able to get the momentum to push them down the straightaway. But when you're in a position where you're in that 4th or 5th spot on the outside line, you're kind of just in a sucker hole. So you either need to wait for a mistake to happen, or you see the hole open for a split second, then you have to shove it in there and hope that they don't cut you off and cause a massive wreck. But with where they're at right now, with about 30 laps to go, all you can really do right now is bide your time and just kind of wait for your opportunity to strike. Because, like I said, you're not really racing for anything right now. The only thing you're doing right now is trying to put yourself in a better position than where you started, so that way when you get in those final 10 laps, you have a shot for the win. But if you make the move now, and now you're stuck in the sucker hole, you're going to go all the way to the back, and then your chances of winning go from about 20% to about 0.1%.
You do not want to start going backwards this far into the race. Absolutely agreed with that. You talk about 20 laps in, how do you rebound from those incidents? We talked to some of the drivers involved in those accidents early on, but you get to this point in the race, and especially for how many cars we still have left on the lead lap and leading this race, I don't want to do that yet. And especially on top of that, you add in all the drivers who have used their fast repairs, you are starting to get into the grips of you need to keep it together because you don't have the lifeline of 60 more laps in this race to go. So I think minding the P's and Q's right now definitely seems to be the right way to go. Although, as we've explained all of that, somehow Brett Bennett, Dylan Dreiling, and Gavin Newton have figured out a way to get that bottom line together enough to at least start to put a challenge to Schmidt, Johnson, and Griffin Jones up on the top side. For a split second there, you saw the 47 car leading, and while Schmidt has taken the lead back over, it's definitely a lot more even this time out of turn number 4, Noah.
Yeah, what we're starting to see right now is Isaac Johnson's having a hard time kind of keeping it glued to the rear bumper of the 79 cars. Now the 79 car is going to ditch Isaac Johnson and control the momentum on the bottom side of the racetrack, and now he's going to make it 2 lanes wide. Isaac just about turned him into the outside wall because, again, when you're playing that kind of game with the cars as close as they are, it's just kind of a recipe for disaster. He wanted to go down there to cover the inside line to kind of block the run, but as he jumped back up, it was kind of mistimed and almost caused Isaac Johnson to get into another wreck where he turned the guy he was pushing. But what I'm starting to kind of see right now is Isaac just had a kind of a hard time staying glued to the bumper of the 79 car, and that caused the momentum to kind of get disrupted for a little bit, and that allowed the 47 and the 83 to push each other to get themselves in a position where they're able to go out there and fight for the lead. But as you're seeing right now the 3 cars up at top, Jones, Johnson, and Schmidt, are starting to wake up again, realize what they need to do, and now they're starting to get that run formed where you're starting to see them break away up in the front of the field. So you had that split second where they made the mistake. That was almost the opportunity they needed to take the race lead, but now as they start to get themselves back in position where they need to be, you're going to see them once again start to break away from that inside line.
And it's getting a little bit argy-bargy in the 13th, 14th place area back there. You see him kind of moving around a little bit with Harry Grindell and Chris Williams back there. But there was a split second while you were talking, Noah, where Griffin, Isaac, and Schmitty kind of fell out of whack of each other. And that was an opportunity sort of in the tri-oval where Brett Bennett probably could have got a run going, but obviously they gathered back up through 1 and 2. They come out of turn 4 this time, and that trio still doing exactly what they did before. I think most of the field, as I read it, most of the field seems content to do what you said and mind your P's and Q's and wait out what's going on, because we are on lap 54. We've got about 25 laps around still to go. There's plenty of time left for anything to happen, and you don't want to be the cause of the caution now that throws all of this out of whack, because, like we've already said, you throw yourself out of contention for the race if you don't have that fast repair left, which I know a lot of these drivers haven't. But watching along right now, OSRL and JOHNCAR, race number 1 of 2026 with both of their ARCA championships. The split race. This race will count both for OSRL and JOHNCAR points in both of their ARCA championships. And for the moment, William Schmidt leading the way, which is not a surprise to anybody who's been around these race cars in this series in the past. He leads over Isaac Johnson. He leads over Griffin Jones. Noah Carmichael, we are 25 laps away from the finish, and they are not giving each other a ton of room, but it looks like they're giving each other enough respect.
Yeah, the same cannot be said for the guys in the middle of the pack right now. I don't want to say the panic's starting to set in, but these guys, obviously, you're here to race. And Chris Williams is the guy I'm still talking about because he jumped right into the middle to try and make it 3 wide. And he's hoping like, hey, somebody's going to have the balls to come down there with me. But, you take about a 50-50 chance. But right now it's kind of a really like 20-70 chance that someone's going to jump down there. So he's pretty much falling to the back of the pack. Where he was about 6th in line, now he's about 8th or 9th in line.
Oh,
and now he's just trying to find
out.
his home. And again, like you said, you have all these cars in that tight of a space and not going to be able to hold on to it as well you think they will because these guys are not real-life drivers. So you're going to have these instances where they make small errors in judgment on what you need to do, and that almost got really bad. And that would have been the caution that the inside line needed to break those top 3 away from each other.
But as much as they're not real race car drivers, got to give a huge shout out to Chris Williams right there, because that very easily could have been the caution. And he did manage to keep control of the B-Blaze Vintage number 09 car. Fantastic driving by Chris to stay out of trouble. He runs 15th place right now. He's got Presley Sora right in front of him. That's a great car to be following, as well as John Chesky, who is in front of the 9. But yeah, great driving from Chris Williams right there to keep himself out of trouble. Checking back into the lead. You've got Chase Willis back on the lead of the inside line with Ashley Kolonix in tow behind. And they are still trying to figure out a way to snooker this trio.
Yeah, it's going to be a really hard thing to do right now, especially when you have the guys in the mid-pack fighting the way they are. And you can also kind of count as well the amount of cars on that top line. They have a lot more cars guiding each other along the wall off of the turns down the straightaway than the inside line does. Because again, that breakaway happens at the midpoint of the pack where the guys are trying to make it 3 wide but just can't really do it. But a lot more cars are more committed to when to follow the leaders on the outside line than they are with the guys in the inside line. And you look at people who are up there as well. Some pretty well-known names in the league, like we already been talking about: Schmidt, Johnson, and Jones. And then you also have guys like Harry Grindel, Shulcheski, you have Presley Sora up there, you have Christopher Williams up there. All well-known guys in this community that have been running these races for a long time. They all know each other. They're all probably in the same Discord channel with each other. So it makes a complete sense on why they're able to work with each other and kind of control the form of this and the pace of this race right now, including another guy, Jack Painter, a guy who was involved in that last wreck with Isaac Johnson. Now he finds himself 5th in line on the outside lane.
Yep, Jack Painter, commissioner of OSRL, driving car number 97 on your screen. You've got Harry Grindel in there, John Shulcheski, Trent Curtis. I mean, as a broadcaster, as somebody who comes around these drivers with the JOHNCAR series, with the ARCA series fairly often, for somebody like me, I come into this and I see names that I start really recognizing, and those are names I recognize. So that also plays into the chemistry of the field working together and racing together, as we saw a 25 car jump out of line there. That was Rex Jenkins. Go backwards to that Ford Mustang check-in as he gets it cleared away and will move the right direction again. But you start talking about like the trust level between the drivers and those names that we're used to hearing. That feeds together. That is going to just directly play into the ability of these guys to get through the period of time we've gone now. We're a pretty solid, I think, we're about 20 laps into this green flag run, and everybody's respecting the point in the race that we're at. I think that's the best way I'd put it, Noah.
Yeah, well, we said that, and now Presley Sora and Chris Williams just said fuck it because they just jumped to the middle of the racetrack to try and make some moves, and now we're in a position where we're starting to see green flag pit stops. How about that? Did not think we were going to get to this point, so now you're going to see these cars make their final pit stops. That's Ashley Kolonix in his 69 car who makes the pit. She almost got into the back of that 44 car to make their way down there. Probably just, if I had to guess, splash and go, get the fuel you need, get the hell out of Dodge, get back out there and try and get that run from. But the thing I wanted to bring up, we talked about Jack Painter. When I said he was up there 5th in line, I was really wanted to highlight this very kind of impressive because we talked about for the majority of this run, you're kind of stuck where you are. You're not able to make runs. And then here's this guy who got right hooked into the outside wall, fell all the way back to the back of the pack. We see guys who were involved in that wreck go laps down. Now here's Jack, about 20 laps after that wreck happens, 10 laps as a matter of fact, and now here he is fighting a top 10 with a shot for the win.
Yeah, Painter definitely kind of slipped up through the field as they went. Oh, Lord, Presley Sora backed out of it there. And Presley in the 9 car. I wonder what's going on here. I hope he's not out of fuel or anything, as he's slow still on the apron. I'd like to see if that car merges back up onto the racetrack, but I'm wondering if he's out of fuel. I'm going to go into the gyro cam. This car is out of fuel, Noah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's one of those things where you kind of have to just kind of watch your fuel gauge, and when you're focused on trying to get the runs formed to go out there and fight for the lead, sometimes you miss that. And we talked about it. We talked with Brain Laster. We talked with Presley. It's a good warm up for real life. You always gotta remember to check a fuel gauge before you start going out there and making moves on the racetrack.
Yep. So Presley Sora was about 27 laps into his stint, which is funny because the drivers leading the way are 28 laps into the stint. So if that's a fuel issue, then either Presley was not saving enough fuel, or all of these drivers up at the front of the field are going to need to come in this time or soon. I thought we could get a couple more laps out of the fuel run. I felt like the trio we saw come in with Kalonix, that might have been a little premature for a full fuel run. That might have been a strategy move, but I mean,
that's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, we're expecting this to change soon, though.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing on how Presley would run out of fuel. Makes me wonder if that even was a fuel issue or not, or if the engine somehow let go or just had a bit of some sort of failure. This doesn't really make sense. I don't know if we're able to even go back and kind of listen to see if we can hear the engine let go or not, but it's just kind of confusing on how the car would let go like it did.
Yeah, and I'm sticking with the screen here. You see the 44 car of Chase Willis on the inside. Oh, Lord, here we go. Oh, Gavin Newton around. All right.
And he hangs on to it.
Fantastic driving by Gavin. Green flag stays out. Keeps it pointed the right direction, but has to get back up to speed there. That's going to screw things up for the 48 car, although him and the 9 of Presley Sora, they were working so well together. He kind of had his work cut out for him losing that teammate. And, yeah.
I think Gavin has a little bit of damage, too, because if you saw him getting back up to speed, that car was not having an easy time trying to get back up to pace.
Yep.
It was wobbling left and right.
Yep, that is exactly correct. And as they come back onto the back straightaway, you can see that it very significantly split up the field of cars, that we've got a pretty big separation here in between 13th and 14th on the track. Nicholas Burrows is the last car in this lead group. Jet Miller leading the second group back there. But Rex Jenkins, Ryan Wayne, Dylan Dreiling, Trey Patton, this whole group comes back out onto the front stretch, and we still got William Schmidt leading the way. Lap 65 starts here, and they only have a few more laps, I would think, Noah, before we start worrying about that green flag pit stop.
Yeah, now they're in a position where they need to, where when they do decide to make that pit stop, they're able to just kind of peel off of turn number 4 and come in together. We talked about it. You want those guys you can trust. Well, the top 4 know each other very, very well. You talk again, William Schmidt, Isaac Johnson, Griffin Jones, as well as Jack Painter. A lot of those guys are admins over in OSRL, so they're in communication with each other a lot. So it makes sense that they're going to be able to work together that well enough to control the narrative of this race like they have been for the last 20 or so laps. So I would expect these guys to all pit together at the same time, then peel off and work together, because it just makes sense the way it is. And like I said, right on cue as well, Harry Grundell, another good one of those guys that's close with that top 4. They're all going to come together. Now it's a 5-car pack that's going to work with each other for the rest of this race.
Trey Patton takes over the race lead, and like Noah called, they came in together. Isaac Johnson, Jack Painter, William Schmidt, and they all are going to try to do their best to get in and out of these pit stalls efficiently and together, because like we saw when they came off of the pit road, that first little group that gave up and probably strategically pitted early, they were all split from each other, didn't get the drafting capabilities, and that's kind of what's happening right now with William Schmidt. Not huge, but definitely a noticeable difference in track positioning between him and the drivers he came in around. Harry Grindell, Isaac Johnson, Jack Painter, all on screen here. Actually did a fantastic job of coming in and out at the same time, Noah. They will get that draft help between each other. But as we go back up to the front, Trent Curtis leads the way. We had another group of cars come into the pits that time, and we're just going to have to wait and see as all of them cycle through who ends up on top.
It was a bit of a curious decision of what William Schmidt decided to do, because I'm curious. He took tires, which I understand if you're maybe taking 2 cans of fuel. Why you take tires? Oh, hot soup. That was almost it right there. And there's the wreck.
Ryan
That
Wade.
was a Clint Boyer call. Oh my goodness, what a hit.
Oh, don't stop there. Look out. Oh, man. Okay.
If you hit him, okay, I was about to say, if you hit him from that far back, there's something wrong with your head.
Yeah, yellow start coming out. And that really screwed up everybody pitted too, Noah. Especially that group that went a lap down.
Well, not for the guys like Jack Painter and William Schmidt, that group.
Yeah, they're
That
okay.
could have not happened better, because if you looked at what happened with them, you talk about they timed it well coming out. They really didn't, because they had so much of a breakaway from William Schmidt, and as well as believe that was Harry Grindel, that would not have worked the way they wanted to. But looking back at the wreck up here, you see, once again, just a stack up. The 51 car mistimed the move when he wants to make it. You have cars stacked right on top of each other right behind it, and then just miscommunication. People trying to find out where they need to go, and then there it goes. 39 car hooked straight into the outside wall.
Hard lick, too, down the backstretch. 25 car, Rex Jenkins got in there, and then Jet Miller and Vanskoy get into that as well. Unfortunately, that 39 car just in the middle of the racetrack. Nothing those guys could do. Dean Clavitt gets around it, but the yellow comes back out. We're going to be inside of 10 laps to go. We come back to it. We'll fast forward here as the 39 car going to have to come in and get that vehicle repaired as much as possible. Don't know if Ryan has the fast repair still in there, but we've got to check in at the front here with some of these drivers like Dylan Dreiling, Nicholas Barrows, Brent Cox. They're not in the best position, Noah. I think what you said is true. I think that group with like Painter and Grindel are in a better spot because they have already pitted, but some drivers have gotten caught out by the way this caution fell right in the middle of the fuel cycle, the pit cycles. And I'm curious to see where you think these guys are going to come out when this is all said and done here.
And you can see they're going to make their way down pit road to get that final pit stop underway. And then, like you said, it's going to stack up the entire field. And if you look at that counter, by the time you go green, it's going to be about a 10-lap shootout. So if you had shit show on your bingo card, go get your Applebee's gift card from the counter up front, because that's about what's going to happen here. You have this many cars, and all those guys that were minding their P's and Q's, well, you don't have to mind them anymore. Screw them P's, screw them Q's. You start making those moves. You start trying to win this race the best way you can. And when you have 30 cars in a position to win this race, there's only one way this is going to go. And we know exactly what that is.
Well, I hope you held on to your fast repairs. I hope you still got a seat to sit on. You're not going to need it, but I hope it's still there just in case I'm just going to say it, unless you shit yourself. So, yeah, I was trying to think of a better way to say that. I was like, nah, you know what? It's 10:30. It's fine. It's after hours. Welcome to Nick at Night. We got 10 laps left for ARCA cars at Daytona. OSRL and JOHNCAR splitting this one for race number 1 for both of their championships in 2026. John Schulcheski on screen right there in 11th. Isaac Johnson holds the race lead. Harry Grindel, Jack Painter behind him, Griffin Jones. That's been a strong car for this race. And I don't know. Why don't we talk to Griffin Jones, Noah? I'll bring him up here. We'll see what he's got to say about what's coming together. Griffin Jones, we got you in the broadcast booth, Joe Donahue and Noah Carmichael. Give us your take on what's about to happen right here, Griffin.
Well, we're going to try not to JRM it. I feel like we've got a really good group here. We've got a plan. We're just going to see if we can get to the finish here without messing it up. We're going to try and keep doing what we were doing, control the field. It was working pretty good. Isaac was talking us through it. Schmitty's doing a good job leading. Bit out of order right now, but we'll see what we can do.
Do you keep doing what you were doing, or do you change your strategy at all, considering the restart factor and the aggression factor that's going to change?
We're going to try to stick to the plan for now. We're going to get ourselves lined up as best we can here, coming to 1 to green. We're going to figure it out. I think we can get ourselves linked up here. We got Jack up here, too. So we got 4 PWR cars. We'll see what we do here.
Yeah, you guys
going low.
You guys did get a little bit of a lucky break with the timing of that yellow to get all those cars back out in front.
I just want to try to figure out, did Jack did William Schmidt mean to take tires in that pit stop? Was that design or was that accident?
That was by accident. He did not.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I saw him take those tires, and I was like, what the hell is he doing? He knows better than that.
Yeah, and I had a bad pit entry. That really saved us, because we would have lost me and Schmitty off the draft.
Well, you got them back together. That's the good part, is you got a little bit of luck coming your way to get you all back together. You're going back to green here just coming off turn 2, so we'll let you get back down there and strategize what you're going to do with your team here. Good luck the rest of the way, Griffin.
Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yep, and he was definitely not dissing. Totally understood. He was ready to get back down there and talk to his team. Completely warranted. 10 laps to go when we hit the stripe. Noah, they're leading the way. They've got the control over the field, and they've got the numbers to do it, but we are in crapshoot Nick at Night season. So do you think they can do it? Like, do you feel like that strategy is going to hold, or how does it unravel?
Well, I'm probably going to misquote, but there's a quote from Lake Ken Squire: tell your grandma to put her teeth in her purse. It's about to get rough, and that's pretty much what's about to happen right here. You talk about they have the numbers game on their side, the PWR cars. They have 2 on the inside, Harry Gwendell and Jack Painter. Those 2 work well together a lot of the time. Do you have on the outside line the 3 guys that have been dominating this second half of this race? So they have the numbers game. Like we talked about what Gavin and what Presley were trying to do at the start, but except they doubled it. They're going to have a really hard time doing it, but there's that unknown narrative of who's going to be the first guy to have the ball to try and make it 3 wide. And when that happens, it's all bets are off.
Absolutely, all bets are off. There is a point where all bets are off with that group. I maybe should have asked. I would be curious what that point in time is.
All right, go.
We are back at it. Green flag is out, and there is actually a huge separation in the pack there where Dylan Dreiling sits in 11th place. So something must have gone a little bit askew for John Strelcheski and probably Chris Williams off the restart as they all jump to the top side, Noah, and we are single file a lot of the way back. I'm kind of surprised about that move.
Yeah, that is pretty much worst case scenario for everybody who wanted to try and race this thing to the end because, like we're talking about, the numbers game, top 5 PWR, you want to talk about controlling the narrative, that is controlling the race. That is controlling the field. You're pretty much playing ATC on the racetrack right now. You might have to tower off of turn 2 at the real airport, but they're going to be like dominating this race. They're going to have a hard time trying to get these guys separated because now the only way you're going to beat each other is by wanting to beat one another. And like I said, that point of all bets are off. It's probably going to be 5 to go. That is when someone's going to want to make that move. And as I say that, here comes Chris Williams, is trying to make that move to 3 wide. He tried to do it on the last green flag run. Now he's forcing the decision, and he's going to try and make his own lane to try and give himself a shot at the win as they are again wrecking behind.
There went Trey Patton, sideways, backwards, back the wrong direction. Green flag stays out. We stick with this crew for the moment. That's Trey Patton. We'll check in on him. Looks like a little bit of damage to the 66 car. Back to Jack Painter, running 4th place right now. And Isaac Johnson going to lead.
It's getting dicey back there.
It is. I liked what Chris Williams did, even though it didn't quite work and it was a little bit aggressive. I liked the idea of just forcing your nose in there. Those guys are not going to give you an inch. You may as well go take it from them. And Chris Williams tried it. Didn't quite work. Maybe he'll learn from it. Maybe they'll do it again.
And we talked about the guys you want to push that you trust, and 2 of those guys are the guys. Oh, and there goes Nathan Barrows, who worked his way up to the front of the field. He is going to save it. Come back up the racetrack, and we're going to stay green again. A hell of a drive by him. He Kyle Busch that thing down on the apron. He holds on to it, and we stay green. But I want to bring up the point. We talk about the guys that you want to trust, and that is who is running the inside line right now. That is Chris Williams and Gavin Newton. Gavin Newton lost his first choice of teammate with, and there they go again.
I can't believe they all stayed pointing the right direction right there.
I can't believe they keep wrecking.
We had 3 cars sideways out of turn number 4 right there. There's no reason for Christopher Williams to still be pointed the direction he is. And Gavin Newton is all over the place right now.
I think there's a reason why Cole Frelick jumped
Oh,
in the
look out. There we go.
Go! No, that's a... Well, Ken has 9 lives. He used all of them, and you're about to get ARCA braked. Oh, buddy.
Wow. There was a secondary crash there, too. But Christopher Williams just took an Austin Dillon, if the bottom of the car was where the top was, decapitate this guy. Call him, what was the guy's name that got decapitated in Charlotte? Russell Phillips.
Jeez, I can't believe you're making this reference.
That's a crazy reference to me.
It's crazy.
It's Nick at Night on the broadcast here. We'll go back and check the replay back and see. We saw it live, but we'll go back again. Gavin Newton just barreling all over the place. No wonder, like I think you threw it in there, Noah. I kind of heard you make a comment about the Cole Frelick thing. That might be a little bit telling about what happened earlier, but here we go with. Oh, that's actually Bobby Blazer who caused all this kind of stir up.
He wrecked his own car.
He Dale Earnhardted his own car, and then
He Ryan Newman his own car. Look at that. Man, what a hit.
Yikes.
He scalped him.
Tony Hawk would have been proud of that wall ride, but I think that's about the extent you get it for Chris Williams. He's pretty much been clean the majority of the race. I'd be wondering if he actually was still holding on to a fast repair when this happened.
I would believe so. I would bring him in to interview. I'd pull him in right now. I don't care if he's in his pit box or not, but he's not even in the Discord, so that's on him.
Yeah, I don't see him. Otherwise, we would definitely talk to him. It would be nice to get his perspective on that. But a couple damaged cars here. They're going to wait for the pits to open. Noah, I don't think we're going to get a green-white checkered. I think we're going to have 3 to go.
If the maths, I'd say so. I think maybe 4 at the least. I'd be surprised if it was about 3 to go or not, but it depends because of the lapped cars and when they were able to catch the pace car.
Yeah. I'm going to take a minute. I always love doing this because I just enjoy talking to him. He's sorry. He's running in 39th place, but I always take the chance to talk to Ronald Swikey when we broadcast a race he's in. Ronald, Joe Donahue in the booth. You are at the tail of the field, but you're trekking it out. 39th spot. Looks like you're a couple laps down. How are you doing this evening?
I'm here. Had some mechanical issues that unfortunately put us a few laps down at the beginning. So we're just digging, trying to get what we can here. It's a full season points fight. So.
Yep, you're in it for the points then, huh? You're trying to hold this out to try to get those extra positions at the end of this race. Get a couple more points in your bucket for the whole season.
That's the idea.
That's the idea. What were those issues that you had earlier on in the race that have marred you the rest of the way through, if I may?
Just something didn't feel right in the suspension, and ended up getting tangled up with someone at the start. Put it in the wall, and then for some reason it wouldn't crank over, so we had to change the starter out on pit road. Put us about 10 laps down. So.
Word. Well, we just wanted to check in, and hopefully, with the way things are going right now, Ronald, you might get graced with a couple extra positions, a couple extra points here as we tick off those laps. So we will let you get back up to speed and get ready to go. Just wanted to check in on you, make sure you're doing well, and good luck for the rest of the season. It's good to have you here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and what chat were you sitting in when I pulled you in here? Who are you talking with?
I was in, I think, race 1 or 2. It's with John and Nate and...
John Shilcheski.
John,
He's
yes.
in 6.
Yes. All right, I got you.
Yeah.
Let's throw you back in where you were from before.
Okay.
Good luck
Thank
the rest
you.
of the way. Yeah. Love talking to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Noah, if you would like to make this interesting, we can do what you just texted me.
Where are we on pace laps?
At least 1 to go. So.
Okay, well, we're going to go one way or another, but we're going to find out.
Let's do it. I'll let you do it. You got it, Noah.
Cole Frey, it's no Carmichael up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hi.
You've been real quiet all race. Where you been, man?
For the sake of my mental health and the others around me, I chose not to race tonight.
You chose not to race.
Somewhat, yeah.
Have you been taking notes from what you've been seeing tonight?
No, I've been the group spotter for about the last 10 laps here for the group leading the race, but yeah, I mean, it's just you get 2 drop weeks, so it didn't hurt too bad to miss out on Daytona. I've been having internet issues all night anyway, so
it worked out.
Yeah.
Were you surprised as I was that they didn't wreck even harder than they were on the last wreck, because they were beating the shit out of each other for the last few laps there?
I mean, we sent a car to the fence, so.
Yeah, I was going to interview him, but he's not in a VC.
Huh.
Yeah, he
Wow.
left. It's incredible.
What a loser. Wait, we have been delayed green. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Are we forcing a green-white checkered here, Cole?
No. Hold on, let me see what's happening.
I think the tire's about to yank his hard card. Because we need.
We are checking. We are checking. I think
We're gonna get
okay.
our
It was a
cars
scoring issue. We're going back green this lap.
Oh.
Well, we'll let you get back up in the tower. Is the track a dry spotter?
For now, you never know in Florida. I mean, it's past 5 o'clock, so we're kind of a little late on our 5 o'clock shower.
All right, sir. Well, good luck to you. We will see you after the race.
All right, one of these cars will win.
Hopefully. That went better than I thought.
Ooh, a little bit of a connection thing going on here. Yeah, it did go better than I thought. He seems to have gotten his cool a little bit back. That's nice. That's good. Cole was some extracurriculars before the event that Noah and I saw kind of go down, but the other guy that was involved in that is sitting 9th place here.
Yeah, to the kids at home, don't wear white gloves. You're going to do what he did. That helps.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Well, we're back to green. 3 laps to go. Isaac Johnson leads the way. You've got this crew that have just been controlling the race for more than half of the event. Jack Painter, Griffin Jones in the mix, William Schmidt, and Harry Grindell kind of running gunner right now for 5 of them. And it's interesting to me, Noah, to see Griffin as we got cars in the wall further back. I'm going to check in, make sure that we don't have anybody backwards. Oh, we had one go. Come on, Joe.
There they go.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my goodness. They are wrecking everywhere. That's Ashley Kolonix, who was the initial car that got turned. There's the 44 car. Here comes some ARCA breaking as well. Oh, scatter. That's scattered form right there.
Doing the broadcasting and the producing can be tough at times. But that, Joseph, what are you doing? All right, we'll go back to Kolonix here. To find the 69 car. Nice. All right. And we'll get the replay back and walk through this again because we got plenty of time to do it. So off turn 2. Of time. Here we go. Noah off turn 2.
So Griffin's going to try and clear up in front of Harry Grindell. They get into the wall. That's going to cause a massive stack up, and the 01 of Barrows is going to hook the 69 into the outside wall. Nice. Well,
Whoa.
Not nice because he wrecked. And then, as you see, through the blinking in the snow, pretty much everyone's trying to scatter for a hole that's not there. The 44 car just decides not to hold his brake, slides right up into the field, and slams the wall. Thank goodness everybody had already wrecked by that point. Here comes the 24 car, barely skates through between 2 cars. The 01 car finally hits his brakes. He does not hit whoever that was. And it's pretty much find a hole, commit to it, hope somebody has the brakes still attached.
So that accident probably put about 10 cars in the category of
6
wrecked
or 7 at least.
Or damage, 6, 7. 6, 7. I would give that a solid...
Ouch.
That's solid, all right.
That's solid. And we'll check back to the leaders in real time.
Were you waiting for the number of the car?
No, I played something on the stream that would be in the output that you didn't see. I can't believe I held that for this long. Noah, do you pit right now?
No, unless you're dead.
Why is Harry Grindell coming in?
Because he got stuffed in the wall. That's why. He's already fucked.
You've lost. Okay, you've lost a gunner. You still are 4 strong. Actually, Riley Ogle is mixed into this now, somehow or another. That car was involved in the first wreck we had in this race, up in the position for a green-white checker to play spoiler. How much of an impact do you think this makes on that team controlling this race?
Well, it's better to have 5 than 4. It's better to have 4 than 3. So you still have the numbers game. Like you said, the 24 car of, well, that's not Shane O'Neill. I don't know who is that.
That's Riley Ogle.
Riley Ogle. Like I said, that's going to be a bit of the spoiler. Another spoiler as well is, guys, we talked about already, Gavin Newton has made his way back up to the front. We know how aggressive he's been. Bobby Blazer back there as well. That's a guy that's going to work really well with Gavin to try and push him up there. We know very well how aggressive he is when it comes to pushes on this racetrack. So if there's a hole, you best believe they're going to shove that car in there, and it's either come hell or high water. They're going to make the broadcast one way or another. I would also say maybe as well, watch out for guys like Chris Williams in the back. We saw how fast he was able to jump on the inside line, and that gave him an opportunity to make the move up to the front of the field up until he got caught up in a wreck with Gavin, and that really destroyed everything they had worked for. But, they have a bit of a strong grouping going on there. I mean, you have Gavin Newton, Bobby Blazer, you have Austin Rip. Those are three guys that work well together. They work well with each other often. So, I mean, if there's a group that's going to be able to bring the fight to those PWR cars, it's going to be somewhere within those three.
Yeah, that's a team, at least, that they could work together. I will say, Robert Blazington is probably the single worst driver I've ever seen in my entire life. He's probably
He's from Pennsylvania.
He's probably now hold on now. Okay, okay. You get all hyped up because your Hoosiers won a national championship. Don't talk to me about it. I went to college in Indiana. Okay.
Yeah, we don't go to the shower with the coaches. That's right. That's the only difference over here.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy talk. That was an insane pull. Well, if you have to pull,
I think there's some insane pulls in that shower too.
If you're trying, if you got to pull back to insult somebody that you got to pull back 15 years ago, we're still talking about a basketball team that hasn't been relevant in 15 years from one of those.
We're talking about a college program that has been relevant in 30.
So we've got. Well, we've got a national, making it into the national championship. You talk about, to be fair, Penn State is not a basketball school. So that's fine. But nonetheless.
Like 83, I think. That's the last time that happened.
So we've got to get ourselves back under control here and see if these drivers keep themselves under control. Bobby Blazer's actually a good friend of mine. I'm just picking on him. But he might be under the influence foul call at this moment in time. There's a possibility. All right.
He's not. I can tell you for a fact that Chris Williams on the influence of something. He has a pin on him at all times. So I guarantee you, the guy is sponsored by B Blaze has been blazing all race.
Well, he could blaze his way to the front, maybe. Try to take a stab at what he did with 10 laps to go, where he, off that restart, just shoved his nose in there to try to mess in with that group leading the way. That's the kind of move I think you're going to have to bring. And Riley Ogle really plays into an interesting position. And actually, with the way they've lined up here as well, Gavin Newton has an opportunity to mix into this as well. So that group of four, now they do have the three on the bottom, but there's a chance for some of these other guys coming to this green flag.
Here's another guy to watch out for. We talked about him earlier in the race, Nolan Sanford. We talked about how good his car is. We don't talk about the fact how he's able to kind of quietly pick his way up to the front of the field, and now there he is, fourth line on the outside.
Yeah, Nolan Sanford, always sneaky. Definitely a conservative, quiet driver that comes in when things matter, and the green flag comes back out. We'll see which of those drivers maybe get an opportunity to do something off this restart as Isaac Johnson jumps out really quickly, gets into the race lead, jumps down low, and that is just absolute complete control. The four cars of them right back into the swing of things, right back into control.
That is how you time the restart right there. You tell him when you're going to go, and then Jack just waits. I'm surprised Jack waited at all. I would have just gone and gapped him and left him hanging. But, that's a good teammate right there to want to play picker and just let him take the lead like that. But now here comes Ogle to jump up to the inside. He's going to be the first person to try and make the charge to fight with the leaders. And now Austin Rip is going to join them as well, as now you have a little bit of a two-car breakaway in the bottom as they try to find more cars to help them, but they're just not finding it.
White flag comes out this time. Four cars on the outside. They lead past, and this is the control of this race. Isaac Johnson, Jack Painter, William Schmidt, Griffin Jones. Harry Grindell, unfortunately involved in that last accident, is not in the picture you're seeing. But we come through turns 1 and 2 this time, and the question is, when do they get out of line? When does the iRacing game stop missing? Oh my God, Harry Grindell is in. Look out! The 70 car is back, Noah.
Yeah, he made a very aggressive move to the inside.
Whoa!
There goes Austin Rip. He's going to spin. Nathan Burrows again caused up in a wreck. There goes Bobby Blazer and Gavin Newton. And that all but pretty much decides this race. As here comes Griffin Jones to try and make the move down to the inside. He's going to try and jack races to the finish. But Isaac Johnson going to control the narrative.
Whoa!
Here comes Jack Painter. Last minute pass. He's going to get it. No, and not. Isaac Johnson wins it at Daytona.
Wow, fantastic run between the group of them. Also, credit to them for not crashing. Credit to Grindell. Dude, where the hell did Harry Grindell come from?
I saw that move and I was waiting for him to do it. You saw Blazer and Newton time that run on the inside, trying to find more cars, and as that happened, Grindel tried to be a good teammate and play spoiler, and he just jammed it in the middle right there, saw the gap, and just shot down like a rocket, found some teammates with him to push him forward, and that really kind of decided the race between the PWR cars, because nobody was going to be able to kind of get that momentum built up in time, and that really gave him the chance to lock this thing up to a PWR top 5, I think.
I think Corey Rexford might have played spoiler in there. That is the only car in the top 5 that I don't see the driver in the same Discord chat. There's Gavin giving a little bit of love to the race winner as Isaac Johnson gets to do a burnout across the grass.
You know it costs about $100,000 if you damage the grass during a track rental?
In a track rental, what do you mean?
So, like, Cletus McFarland did a video there. They rented it to go run configs, and it's like, if you even touch the grass the first time, I think it's like $20,000. But if they have to repair the grass, it's like $100,000, I think, to repair the grass. That's their fee.
Wow. Wow. Well,
I know there's no point in that, but I just thought that was interesting.
Isaac Johnson, you got a big bill coming from Daytona International Speedway then.
Yes,
But that's
sir.
okay. Burn it down.
Yes, sir. You know, it's talking about it. You don't see the winner of the Kentucky Derby get off the horse and beat the shit out of it. Well, you're gonna beat the shit out of this motor.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was illegal and he's trying to burn it up so that he doesn't have to take it through tech.
Exactly. Junior Johnson it.
Yep. I was going to say Jimmy Johnson it too, but...
I almost did.
Well, there he goes. He blew it up. All right. Well, we do want to talk to Isaac Johnson, so we'll probably give him a moment. Should we just give him a moment, or why not? Well, let's go for it.
Think about this real quick. He did say early in the race when we first interviewed him, "You're going to talk to me later for a good reason." How about that?
Yes. He called his shot, and he's gone.
The top 3. Did he already leave? There you go.
He was in there. Let's get him up here. Let's get the race winner up here so we can give him the shout and give him the write-off. Isaac Johnson, we got you up in the broadcast booth. We've talked to you twice already. Third time's a charm. You said it was going to be for good reason this time, and it was.
Yeah, I mean, I told you guys what was going to happen. We were going to get lined up, and we were going to kind of control that outside line, and that was going to be the key to winning. And, well, lo and behold, that's kind of what won the race. Really kind of lucked out. I would have been curious to see how everything would have played out with that, green flag fuel stops. Because we all pitted and Schmitty accidentally took 4 tires and kind of got separated from us. And then we had Harry kind of pulled in with us. So we were kind of not screwed, but it definitely threw a wrench in everything. But the caution kind of came out and saved us. And we cycled out front. I'm really surprised we survived that long and nobody tried to... I don't know how hard they were trying back there to break us up, but I'm surprised we didn't get broken up because they had a few tries with, I think, 3 cautions after that? Yeah, because we had a green one. Yeah. But no, we were smart. We communicated with each other how we wanted to run the restarts. The final restart, there was 4 of us lined up, and it all worked out because... I'm actually just super happy that they didn't try and Jack didn't try and slingshot me. I know he kind of tried to once we came off 4, but at that point we kind of had that thing sealed. And I'm just so happy, man. I finally won one of these things outside of a dirt race. So I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, that's awesome to have it. And yeah, you talked about the other people. You guys played your cards right off the bat. I mean, it was very clear what you guys were doing to strategize, to get up front, to stay up front, to control the race lead. And there were some people who tried to throw things at you to try to get you, snooker you, curveball you, whatever you want to say. And somehow it still held out. Does that speak to the volume of how good that strategy was, or maybe to the ability of the team to execute?
Mix of both. Like Griffin, Schmitty, Jack, I've all raced with those guys for years at this point in OSRL. They're known quantities to me. I know what they can and can't do, and they're good drivers, especially Schmitty. And also that strategy's, because the only way you're gonna really beat us on that is trying to get up above us and push it 3 wide and kind of put us in the sucker hole there. And I was telling at first Griffin and then Schmitty when he got shuffled to the back of our trio, don't don't let them split us 3 because that would have kind of sealed our fate. Especially don't get shuffled to the bottom because then they just kind of take our spot and we're screwed. But no, that's pretty sound strategy. It's worked twice so far, and finally I was the one receiving the win instead of being the one pushing the car to the win.
Yeah, well, it's awesome to see that. Great way to start off the OSRL season. Great way to start off the JOHNCAR season. Great way to get things rolling in 2026. Who do you want to thank, shout out, give credit to here on the broadcast for getting that 33 car finally into victory lane at Daytona?
Well, first things first, Racecraft Academy. They do a lot of driver coaching and stuff like that. They have a lot of great people to kind of point you in the right direction, especially if you're a newer driver. They do great work, and I can't thank them enough for having me on with Racecraft Academy as a driver. Apex Gaming PCs, that's one of Racecraft's sponsors, along with Next Level Racing. Go check them out. I actually have their monitor stand. It's great. High quality products there. Slipstream Signs, Tyler Williams, throwing support. Always, that's good dude. Go check him out. And I think that's it.
Word. Well, congratulations again from the booth, Isaac. Fantastic stuff to get you to the finish here tonight. And we'll be looking forward to seeing what you can do for the rest of these ARCA races to come this year.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yes, you too. And that is Isaac Johnson, your race winner from tonight. Noah, we also, conventionally with broadcasts I run, I'm rocking the top 3 podium. And if you want, I will hand you the microphone, and I will hand you the second place finisher, Jack Painter.
Absolutely. We're going to bring in the number 97, Jack Painter. Okay. Noah Carmo over here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right. You finished second. You guys controlled the narrative of the race all race long, but you got to come up short here at the end. What was it like during those final few laps as you guys really dominated the second half of this race?
Yeah, it was just myself, Isaac, Schmitty, and Griffin just kind of all trying to, like you said, control the race there. And like we were on some Venerini stuff like there in that last few runs there. It really worked out, especially with that caution coming kind of in the middle of those green flag pit stops there. That just cycled us right to the front, and then at that point we were good to go. So really, really excited to come in second, especially given I was junked midway through the race. Thank God for fast repairs. And really excited that Isaac won. He's my teammate, so I'm glad I was able to push him to a win there. Griffin, another teammate, came in 5th. So really, really good night all around for all of us.
You talk about being happy your teammate won. Well, he was also the same guy that wrecked you at the midpoint of the race that caused you to go all the way back. We talked about, for most of the race, how hard it was to kind of pass without the runs that were coming the way that we would have liked them to. How were you able to make the moves? Because it seemed like out of nowhere, you went from the back of the field and you're running 5th in line on the outside.
Yeah, I just stayed committed to the outside there. I think it was Christopher Williams behind me who was getting really aggressive, trying to force it 3, kind of right behind me, trying to break up the line there. But I just tried to stay committed to the outside, and after Williams, eventually he got shuffled back. People in front jumped to the bottom, started to shuffle back. I just stayed committed out there, and it just got me right up to the front there. So just trying to stay committed to that outside. With how the side draft works in this car, being on the outside is such an advantage. So staying committed to that just got me right to the front. When other people jumped out, I was just able to go right on by them.
You talk about, being happy that your teammate won, but on the flip side of that, on that final restart, we saw you kind of time it to where you allowed Isaac to get the jump, to get in front, to take the lead. How hard was that, considering that was a green-white checkered finish, and there's always that thought in the back of your head that says, screw it, I want to win this race?
Not very hard, really, because the way we were thinking about it was that if we all get lined up, we can break away from everybody else behind us and fight it out amongst ourselves. And that's kind of exactly how it ended up happening. Was eventually everybody, we controlled the bottom there, worked our way to the top, and everybody just kind of started falling out behind us. So it was left for us to fight at the end. That's kind of exactly how we planned it. I wish I could have gotten the win. It would have been nice to win, but just timed the move there in the trial, but just a bit too late. But worked out. It was really good in general. But yeah, it worked out exactly how we planned it would. I'm happy the team got the win. I would have liked to win also, but I'll take a 1-2 any day.
And then as you set up for the rest of the season, how good is a feeling is it to start on this high of a note that you're able to start off second and be able to give yourself a bit of a cushion heading into this early part of the season to kind of set yourself up for a championship run?
Feels really good, especially considering my luck at Daytona has usually not been that good. So I'm glad to get a really strong start to the season. It feels really good. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on the podium finish, and we'll see you out here for the rest of the season to try and win the championship.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, and then that leaves one left, the number 79 car, William Schmidt. Joey, take it away here and wrap us up here.
Right on. Well, the final of the 3 podium finishers, William Schmidt, car number 79. This is Joe Donahue in the booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yes, sir. I got you.
I got you loud and clear. All right. Well, Schmitty, you were a big part of the whole run-through for the absolute domination of leading this race, basically from the halfway point forward. No contention to you guys. That's 3-car strategy on the outside line, and you led a lot of laps doing it. I mean, you guys definitely came into this race expecting that, and we were talking earlier on in the race about some of the updates in iRacing. You guys maybe dodged a bullet by these cars not really getting much of a upgrade in the most recent update to this racing simulator.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about iRacing from the update perspective. I don't really know how much got updated other than the Cup Camaro. But I mean, yeah, going into this, I was not expecting the top line to work as well as it did, especially with as many cars as there were. But I'm happy it did. It worked out really well.
Well, this is also, on top of your strategy, Schmitty, this is a racetrack. This is a capability. This suits you. Like, this kind of car, you just seem to have these, like, lower power stock cars really figured out. It leads you to championships with OSRL. I mean, it got you into the picture for this race. Tell me about, like, how do you figure this out? What do you do that makes you that extra step better than a lot of the drivers in this field?
Honestly, if I knew, I would have had like a full detailed like bullet point list. But I honestly don't know what I do. I just drive the car. It works out, and yeah, I mean, really the only thing I guess I could say is just drive the car enough, get a feel for, how it feels at certain tracks, right? Like know that point when the car might spin out, when the car feels like it's getting too tight. Just learn all of the furthest points of the car that you can get within its control. And I feel like once you learn all of those, it is going to make you so much better at driving these types of cars. But I mean, other than that, I don't know. I just drive the cars.
Well, you do a hell of a job driving those cars, because this, not only was this a great showing for you, but it puts you in a really good position with something you're pretty good at as well, which is fighting for championships. OSRL and JOHNCAR, they're running 2 ARCA series. They've got some of these races that are tied in together. They've got a couple single events coming down the road. You've got, like, I think 33 or 32 more races this year if you want to contend for both of those titles. So do you take those extra steps? Are you looking to get those championships this year?
I mean, if it depends on how well I do the next couple races. If I'm up there, then obviously I'll keep going. But the plan going into Daytona was just kind of pick and choose the races I felt like doing. Like, I know in a couple of weeks we're going to Kern County. Kern County's my home track, so of course I'm showing up to that. I was planning on doing a bunch of the West Coast races as well. And yeah, I mean, honestly, it depends on how well the rest of the races go from here on out. If I'm up there, I'll run the rest of the season. If I'm not, I'll just pick and choose.
Oh, fair enough. Well, Schmitty, 3rd place. Fantastic performance. You led the most laps in the race. Or I might actually be wrong about that. You were one of the most led drivers in this race. 3rd place at the end of it. Who do you have to thank, make a shout out to on the broadcast here to wrap up 3rd place tonight?
Yeah, I mean, of course I want to thank, everybody for putting this league on. I think it's my first time actually racing in JOHNCAR, and it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. And of course I want to give a massive shout out to Isaac, Jack, and Griffin. We were just locked in like that last half of the race. And I mean, there were a couple times on restarts where it looked pretty tough to get us all in line, and it worked out for a lot of it. So that was really cool. And yeah, of course, I want to thank my team as well, SKS Motorsports. And yeah, big thanks to you for putting on the broadcast too. And I believe that's about it.
That is about it. Indeed. Well, thank you for coming out, Schmitty, and we'll be looking forward to seeing what you have in store for us as the weeks go on.
All right, thank you.
And that is your third-place driver, William Schmidt. And Noah, that is the wrap-up on the post-race interviews. You check out the top group, Isaac Johnson, Jack Painter, William Schmidt. We talked to all of them. Nolan Sanford came in at the last second, got himself into the top 5. Corey Rexford did the exact same thing. The spoiler out of that PWR team, he is the one person in the top 5 that was not in that group. Griffin Jones, 6th. Harry Grindell, 7th. Ashley Kolonix fought back up to get back into 8th place. Trent Curtis, 9th. And somehow or another, Dale ended up with the top 10 there, Noah.
Absolutely. Back in 11th, Gavin Newton's able to salvage an 11th place finish. Devin Lentz in the 19 car finishes 12th. Riley Ogle, who restarted up there in about the 4th position, he falls back to 13th. I believe he was caught up in that last lap crash. Chase Wilson, the 44, finishes 14th. Nathan Burrows, your pole sitter, had a really good start to the race, but got caught up in just about every single accident that occurred today. He finishes back in 15th. Austin J. Rip, one of the guys who was running up there at the front with a shot to win, finishes 16th. Bobby Blazer in the 19th, finishes in the 17th spot. Shane Sweeney in the 18th. Rex Jenkins down in 19th. And then Nicholas Burrows in the 01, who got collected in some Major X2. He rounds out the top 20.
Back to 21st on the grid. We saw Dylan Dreiling lead some laps today. Unfortunately, 21st is all the 83 car is going to get. Dean Clavitt kind of fell off from the start. Started up front, but we really didn't talk about that 43 car past that point in time. Shane O'Neill, 23rd. Brent Cox, 24th. First car one lap down. Mateo Mitchell, literally that name has not been said since we did the starting grid of this race. Christopher Van Scoy had the lead, got in some incidents. 26th place. Carter Koch in the 27th position at the end. Trey Patton, 28th. Christopher Williams, definitely this position does not represent some of the runs we saw out of Williams this race evening, but 29th it is. And Presley Sora will finish 2 laps down in 30th position.
Back in 31st of the 54, Mo Perry, somebody who had ran up in the top half of the race throughout a bit of the chunk of the first bit, but got caught up in a couple of wrecks, and that put him in a position where he was in no man's land, just kind of riding around, biding his time. Mr. Pizza King, Brayton Laster, finishes in the 32nd spot. We talked to him earlier in the race. He got caught up in an ARCA break scenario with our winner, Isaac Johnson, early on. Ryan Wayne in the 39 finishes 33rd. Davis Warren in the 540 finishes 34th. Nolan Kelly, who got collected in some major accidents, finishes 35th. Brett Bennett in 36th. John Shaleski in the number 18 finishes 37th. Nathan Moeller in 38th. 39th is Kalen Topman. And then the final and 40th position is Ronald. Didn't even get the last name.
Sorry, Ronald Swikey, one of my favorites to talk to. Spencer Madden and Adam Harrington did not come to the end of this race, finishing 41st and 42nd. That is the whole show. That is the end of Daytona for OSRL and JOHNCAR to start off their seasons. And we hope that everybody who tuned in enjoyed the broadcast. The next race out is a exclusive race to, it is not counting for OSRL points. It is a JOHNCAR only event. And I don't remember where it actually is. But nonetheless, I want to take a second to shout out and thank Jack Painter and John Shulcheski. The combo races here is a great way to get all of these drivers in the same place and have a full field of action. I want to thank them for bringing together OSRL, and not only bringing together, but also operating OSRL and JOHNCAR. Got to thank Noah Carmichael, Mr. Mighty Mac on YouTube. Great person, great commentator. Absolute pleasure to have him in the booth with me tonight. And I want to thank everybody who tuned in and watched along throughout the entirety of this 2-hour live stream. It is to the end, and it is time to go to bed. It is about 11:15 on the East Coast. So to everybody, we hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll be looking forward to bringing you more of these JOHNCAR and OSRL races as time goes on into the year. I'm Joe Donahue, signing off for now. Thank you, everybody.